right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lunch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How's everybody doing tonight? Hit that like and subscribe. If only today it's my birthday. Oh, it's my birthday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I figured birthday, chill day. Been hanging out all day, just kind of watching stuff and just hanging out. And I figured, why not hang out with you guys? So nothing crazy here. I'm actually going to drop the link right away. If anybody wants to come on up, come on up. All right. Shout out to JL in the building. So Paul Brooklyn 99 isn't on the list, but it's your birthday, so it'll slide. In reference to the poll, the running poll, the real ones will know which sitcom is my favorite. So the options right now, I'll tell you in a minute, but the options right now are The Office, How I Met Your Mother, Scrubs, or none of the above. So JL, you know, maybe you never know. Shout out to the Alpha Marketing Group. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. So I mean, I got a few. Thank you very much. Got a few. Just a few videos we could check out, hang out. Like I said, the link, if you want to come up and hang out, is pinned to the top of the chat. Very laid back. I have no idea what we're doing. I have a couple videos. If you guys have, oh, did you see this? Then we could watch that. I'm down for whatever. So let's do it. This first one I want to start with, though, is something that I would definitely have covered if I was still doing like the daily videos, but it hasn't really fit in. And it's about this comedian, Matt Rife. So if you're on TikTok, you definitely know who Matt Rife is. And if you're not on TikTok, you probably have no idea who Matt Rife is. He's just this stand-up comic. And he he went viral putting out clips of his crowd work. And as you'll see in the video, he's a very attractive Chad looking dude, and so all of his fans are young girls. And then his Netflix special came out this month, like last week or whatever, and it's a pretty standard a comedy special, and the girlies were not happy. Shout out to Zippy the Strange in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, sir. We got Opus in the building as well. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for hanging out. Much appreciated. All right. Again, the link, if you want to come up, is pinned to the top of the chat. Come on and hang out.
I don't pander my career to women. I would argue that this special is way more for guys. And oh boy.
The trailer for a new Daily Wire movie about trans sports. I did not see that, but I will be tuning into that as soon. Do they have a trailer out? So let's see. Was there a name? Daily Wire trans sports movie. Lady Ballers. I think I saw. Hold on. See, this is exactly. Good job, Opus.
Where women's sports is being transformed. The Daily Wire calls foul with the most triggering comedy of the year.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. Shout out to Dan the Man Jensen. Welcome to the party. I am 34 years old. Getting up there. Welcome to the party. Thank you so much, sir. And oh my God, starting off hot with the $5 super chat. And of course, every donation or super chat comes with a treat from my co-host, Morty. Thank you, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so much, sir. Very, very, very much appreciated.
Guys, this is serious. Sports can be your pathway to a better life.
Well, like yours?
Please don't steal my catalytic converter again. Winning matters. It's the key ingredient to becoming a winner.
Maybe you should try it sometime. Are you gonna move?
I am not.
Let's cut to the chase. I know you're not a woman.
Hey, you don't know how he identifies.
If you can beat them.
What do you know about the U.S. Opens for the global games?
You want us to compete as women. $5,000 prizes.
My lover said you were a great coach back in the day.
Join them.
This is the way the world is now. My 8-year-old daughter told me all about it.
This is
a guy can become a
hilarious.
girl with no physical changes at all.
Oh, that's
called gender fluid.
So I can be a woman on the court and a man in the bedroom. I can't believe it. Guys!
You mean when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Coach,
Alex, we could play basketball.
we have to get the whole team back together.
It's time
We're in.
This is such a
in.
great idea.
I'm in.
to play.
Lady Ballers. Line up.
Lady ballers.
That's right. I'm with her. Flaming mushroom! This is mushroom!
From heroes
Day one of being a girl athlete. I love being a girl.
to sheroes.
We could dominate
Hero to
every
hero.
woman's sport. Running, swimming, soccer. I said sport, Felix.
It's ladies basketball, boys. Nobody watches.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Are these seats open?
Shout out to Katie.
Never mind.
Getting dunks. And dunking dunks.
No, she didn't. That's the biggest I've ever seen on a lady.
I don't care.
Lady ballers.
This
One
is
can even
great.
be trans age now, which provides Sheelix with a wonderful opportunity to relive all the experiences that she missed out on in school.
Streaming exclusively on Daily Wire Plus
Bruh.
December 1st.
Bruh. Well, I know what we are doing in Discord on December 1st. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely know what we are doing in Discord on December 1st. If you are not a channel member, make sure you sign up so that you can be there to view that. Shout out to Opus. Good call. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hey, shout out to Amanda Kemp over on Facebook. Said happy birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Supposed to the only women's basketball team that can dunk. Opus said it. I never in a million years saw the timeline where a bunch of stiff conservatives would be making amazing comedies. Yeah, and the other thing is that it has the vibe, at least from the trailer, like movies used to have, like comedies used to have, where it was, I'm not even sure how to put it into words, but like it just has that feel of like, like in the heyday of like the Sandler movies, and then it went to like the Seth Rogen style movies. They don't make movies like that anymore, but that seems to be like that. Very interesting. Very interesting. That is definitely something that we will be screening in Discord. Oh my goodness. That was hilarious. But diving back in here. So, yeah, we're talking about Matt Rife, the comedian, and he was blowing up doing his crowd work. And hell yeah, I'm here for it as well. That we don't fucking give a fuck about. Exactly. And yeah, so Matt Rife blew up on TikTok because he's, super handsome and whatever. And he would only really do clips of his crowd work, not really his actual material. And then the special came out and people weren't happy. And watching the ladies melt down on TikTok over their favorite comedian not pandering to them has been amazing.
Did this quote not age well for him at all? Because now his Netflix special is out and he is getting absolutely dragged for it. Like my For You page for the last 3 days has exclusively been Matt Rife hate and all of his female fans absolutely turning on him. Welcome back to the comments section. I'm Brett Cooper. Today we're going to talk about the rise and the fall of TikTok's favorite comedian, Matt Rife. Now, for those of you who do not know who he is, Matt Rife had a meteoric rise on social media over the last year or so. He became famous for his very viral crowd work at his stand-up shows and for his very sharp jawline.
I mean, ladies, am I right? Come on.
I'm not kidding there. Those are literally the two things people talk about when they bring up Matt Rife. Until...
Yep, like I said, if you're on TikTok, you definitely know who Matt Rife is. If you're not on TikTok, you have no idea who Matt Rife is.
His Netflix special came out, which has now landed him in hot water with his mostly female fan base, and we're going to talk about that today. Before we do, though, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss a comment section or off-the-clock episode. So, for some background, Matt Rife has been an aspiring comedian.
Shout out to Poon Cooter. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Cheers to all of you. What do you say? You might just be the most lovable SOB in the business. Thank you so much, brother. Very, very, very much appreciated. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party.
for basically his whole life. Like since he was a little kid, he has been working in this industry for many, many years. He's popped up on some TV shows, has been, posting his comedy on social media. But in the past year or so, he started getting attention on TikTok with clips of his crowd work where he, argues and banters and jokes around with his audience at his stand-up shows. Here is a taste of that.
Does anybody here have any autistic children? Do you really?
Yeah.
How old?
So he just turned 4.
He just turned 4.
Now, this is not the best example because he could be pretty like this is a very wholesome clip that she chose, but usually he can be, what you would expect from comedy stand-up or comedy stand-up crowd work where, you're kind of going at the crowd a little bit. I don't think this is as representative of his crowd work that you would see, but neither here nor there.
What's how far on the spectrum would you say he is? Is it little by little, or is he like?
He's nonverbal.
He's nonverbal. He got it.
Yeah.
What's his thing that he's really good at?
So he's hyperlexic.
Hyperlexic. What's that?
He's very, very good with numbers, shapes, colors.
He's good with numbers, shapes, and colors. Yeah, that dude about to rob a casino someday. You're gonna be a very rich mom someday. There's no cons, bro. You don't got to worry about him talking to strangers. You don't like talking to nobody. That's awesome. Congratulations.
And so, the fact that he did this in a wholesome way kind of obfuscates what the rest of his. So let's take a look at some. I'm sure there's got to be like a compilation here. Right. Compilation. There we go.
And we'll start slow. We're ease our way into. We're gonna start with red flag.
Oh wait, no, this is I don't want that. Oh, this is the actual special. Somebody ripped his whole ass special.
As we know, there's a reason you put up with crazy shit in a relationship, right?
Pussy.
Yeah.
So see, even the first one that I pick out is a little bit like, oh, okay. The women going to see the live stand-up special aren't necessarily going to expect wholesome comedy.
I can't see you, but I want to believe that was God. You know what I mean? You're 52. Who you here with, man?
My wife.
Oh, shit.
17 years.
17 years? What's your name, man?
Troy.
Troy. Great to meet you, Troy.
16-year-old daughter.
Why are you telling me that? That seemed like a setup, didn't it? What's up? I'm Troy, been married 17 years, have a 16-year-old daughter, don't mind the math on that, definitely got married to the force. But she's fine as fuck and ready to mingle. Why you pitch your family like it's the beginning of an episode of Next on MTV? Remember that shit? What's up? I'm Troy, I'm 52, I love pussy. Here's my security in case any of y'all on your Will Smith shit right now. Feel like getting offended, running up on stage. Keep my wife's name out your fucking hands. Yeah, never mind. Whatever. That's such a cool skill, man. This looks like you solve an imaginary Rubik's Cube. It's just killing shit. Is anybody gay?
Calling him out. Right. So I mean, we see, the standard comedy crowd work. That's what you would expect. That's what you'd expect when your YouTube is acting up. What do you mean? I don't know what to do with that.
So that's basically what it is. And these clips are all over his social media. That one alone has 9.9 million likes. Not even views. 9.9 million likes. And this is his thing. He gets the audience engaged. They feel comfortable with him. They, yell out from the crowd. They tell jokes with each other. And he's, endearing and he makes them feel good. He's obviously created a good rapport with his audience, which is important to note because that relationship has been broken based on what has happened over the last week. One person commented and said, nailed this topic while still staying inoffensive, yet still being Matt Rife. Somebody else said, when will we get a Matt Rife special on Netflix? Another person said, we need a Matt Rife Netflix special or several.
Patience, my precious. Come on. Where'd it go?
Ladies, you spoke too soon. You spoke too soon. You really wanted it and you got it, and it did not turn out very well. Now, even though Matt Rife has sort of become a household comedy name over the last 6 months or so, there is one common question and theme that always surrounds Matt Rife, and that
Right, exactly, Opus. That was a rule of thumb, I guess is the best way to put it. And the problem with going viral on TikTok as a comedian is that you're going to have a lot of female fans who are not comedy fans. And so you could imagine if you're not a comedy fan and you don't know what comedy what it is, and you see this very narrow view of, oh, this cute guy and he's talking to the girls and I'm gonna buy a ticket and maybe he'll talk to me.
is he actually funny? Or is he just an attractive dude that girls online want to see? Because everybody online has just agreed that he is a conventionally attractive guy with a very strong jawline, and because of this, he has developed
Shout out to Bailey in the building.
a dominantly female fan base that has skyrocketed him to fame and wealth very, very quickly. And the thing is, with Rife, I'll stop thinking about rough greens now. So, Matt Rife, here's a headline about that, which says, how TikTok comedy hottie Matt Rife sold 600,000 tickets across 256 shows in 2 days. Obviously using hottie in the headline because that is what everybody thinks of when they think of Matt Rife. But I mean, he has been doing comedy for a very long time at this point. But right after he started popping off on TikTok, this fan base grew and provided him with the ability to sell at a 256-show tour instantly, which is almost unheard of in the comedy world. Now, during an earlier interview, he praised his female audience, which would make sense. This is who is supporting him and buying up all of his tickets. He acknowledges and knows that that is his fan base. We all have access to our TikTok analytics. He knows who is watching his videos. But he said
that would he puts this thing out about how all these females are fans of him, and he's a comedian. And I knew from the moment that you could see in the comments that it's all girls just talking about how hot he is and this and that and whatever. Oh shit, I forgot to block off the thing. Hold on.
Once TikTok blew up, everything kind of changed. Now I'm back to having a predominantly young female audience, but they're so passionate and they love to share everything. I don't have to do any of my own advertising. They promote everything I do. For me, it's absolutely amazing. And when he says passionate, when he's talking about his female fans, he means passionate because they...
Sorry, I forgot to block off the thing. I have a pizza upstairs. He is not gonna go eat that. I was just saying that you could tell that people, come on then. You could tell that people were not going to, whatever the actual stand-up special was, it was never going to be something that these young girls on TikTok were going to like. That was never going to be the case.
They rallied behind him like Swifties or believers. When he announced his show and the tickets went up online, they literally shut down Ticketmaster. Just like when Taylor Swift announced the Eras Tour and Ticketmaster shut down. It was the same level of frenzy. Here's a headline about that. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and now Matt Rife. He's being mentioned next to Taylor Swift and Beyonce, which is just insane.
Mentioned next to Taylor Swift and Beyonce, a TikTok comedian. I mean, he can buy it as soon as he buys it, he could have all he wants. But I bought my pizza for me for my birthday. He can fuck off if he's trying to go eat it.
Insane comedian, next victim of Ticketmaster's chaotic pre-sale system. He obviously.
Shout out to Dan Jensen. We are not going to be giving the dog pizza. Not that he hasn't had it before, but I definitely need food. But thank you very, very much, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so much.
Figured out what worked. He knew what his audience was. He seemed grateful for that audience. And for a while, he stuck with that, and it paid off big time. Now, the difference between Matt Rife and other comedians in general is that he basically only posts clips of his crowd work, where audience members, like I said, are encouraged to yell and he interacts with them. That is what made him go viral. I have never seen him doing any kind of long form comedy. I've never seen him, do a joke that he's written. I know that he has a couple of specials on YouTube, but that is not what I've been exposed to whatsoever. Literally just clips of his crowd work. So
thank you again, Dan. So yeah, I watched the special when it came out, and I mean, it was funny. It wasn't hilarious, but it was funny. It was comedy. I was entertained, but it was just kind of another run of the mill stand up comedy special.
His tour audiences are full of these women who follow him, hoping that they
Who's
will see
smoking?
the same type of thing that he posts on TikTok, aka
Let's
his crowd
smoke
work,
it!
which is not the
Happy
traditional comedy
day.
hour that most comedians do, or that he was doing in his stand-up special, or that he was doing on his tour. And it seems that as Matt has been touring more, he has realized the divide between the Matt Rife fans and traditional comedy fans. And he's spoken about it now basically every time he's done a podcast since then, like this.
Do you not like the thought
Shout
that
out
you have
to
like a
Barstool.
female base? You want to be equal, or
I'd love for it to be equal. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm incredibly grateful for women. Without women, I never would have like gained the momentum I did on social media. I'm so grateful for that. But in doing that, a lot of dudes didn't like that.
I
So-
watched it.
Jealous.
And
Did you
I
watch
was pleasantly surprised
Oh, you're
because
so
I fell
sweet. Thank
victim to the you only do crowd work shit. Because I
So notice how the girl here is saying like I was surprised by what it was, but I enjoyed it.
just
okay.
listened to the internet and then I watched it. I was like, oh wow, no crowd work. It was really good. It's really funny.
You could feel free to disagree, but I feel like my comedy is more for guys than it is women.
Yeah, I watched it with my boyfriend and he was like a lot of the
humble brag?
shit. Like he was like dying at it. I'm like, I don't really get it.
That should have been the name of the special. Matt Rife shit.
So again, he knows his audience and his brand. He knows what has made him famous and rich. And even Brianna Chicken Fry, who's the girl on that podcast,
Okay.
said that she had only seen his crowd work before, which is, again, all that his female audience has been consuming prior to him going on tour and prior to this Netflix special. Somebody commented and said, am I the only one who likes the crowd work more? I feel like it's more genuine and challenging to do, and he does it so well.
I agree. I agree that that crowd work is challenging, and that I think in general it's way more of a skill to do crowd work in the moment than to to write specific jokes and then just recite those jokes. I mean, it's not definitely there's people who have done entire specials like that, but because it's so unique, it's not usually something somebody does. Shout out to Melted Mind Media. Welcome to the party. And thank you, sir. Another awesome YouTuber. Just dropped the link to his channel. Please go check that out. Welcome. Link is pinned at the top if you want to come hang out.
I agree with that. Another person said his crowd work is better. Somebody else said his crowd work is the best. I don't see why that's a problem. And to this person's point, it's not really a problem. Like if he likes to do that crowd work that he's famous for at every single show, if he wanted to do an entire show that was just crowd work, he obviously has the audience for it. People are showing up to see him do what he does on TikTok. But now you can sort of tell that as he's been on tour, he's gotten a little bitter that people are just coming for his crowd work and that people only want to see that. And he's
So I would again disagree with Brett that it's bitterness, that it's just frustration. The types of fans that, oh, you're hot, so I'm gonna buy a ticket. That's not sustainable. So it's not about being mad at them for anything. It's just that if I'm going to be a comedian that has a career doing this, I need to have comedy fans coming to my shows, not just somebody who's, oh, I want to get close to Matt Rife. Shout out to Ron Southpaw. Welcome. Life anniversary. I like that one. Takes the sting off the birthday a little bit. Welcome to the party.
continued to express that and express that he's not just a comedian for women leading up to the release of this Netflix special. For example, in an interview with Variety that he did right before the special was released, he said, one of the biggest misconceptions of things I get ridiculed online for is people are like, oh, he only has a female fan base. In the beginning, yes, because I did blow up on TikTok, which is very female dominant, so I get that perspective. But when you come out to the shows, I mean, it's 50-50. It's couples coming out. Well, it's couples because girls are bringing their boyfriends, but I digress. It's groups of dudes who are coming. And that's one thing that I wanted to tackle in this special.
It's groups of dudes who are coming.
Was showing people that despite what you think about me online, I don't pander my career to women. I would argue that this special is way more for guys.
Now, again, I would agree, but hear how even the conservative Brett Cooper, she's at the Daily Wire, but she's a woman, and she wasn't really happy about it.
And oh boy, did this quote not age well for him at all, because now his Netflix special is out.
On Netflix, the real deal.
And he is getting absolutely dragged for it. Like my For You page for the last 3 days has exclusively been Matt Rife hate and all of his female fans absolutely turning on him.
I mean, not entirely because I watch other stuff too on TikTok, but yeah, there's been so much. And it's just so funny because these are people who have no idea what comedy is and that comedy is supposed to be a place where you say the things that you're not supposed to say anywhere else. And they go in expecting what they see in the rest of the world. And it's just funny to see. It's the Schadenfreude of, you didn't say
And you, of course, are going to ask,
Or you
what
can
is the
get it-
reason that he is now getting canceled online? Well, it is the gap between his actual audience and the audience that he is apparently now trying to target, which has left him in a very tricky situation.
That is quite a situation.
And it did not help his case that the first joke out of the gate in his Netflix special
All right.
was about domestic violence.
All right, so before I go to that, let's shout out to Dad Attack. Welcome to the party. Thank you, sir. I want to post it. So all his female fans turned into bitter exes. Yes.
Watch this.
I've only been to Baltimore one time. I ate lunch there, and the hostess who like seats you at the restaurant had a black eye. A full black eye. And it wasn't like, what happened? Yeah, it was pretty obvious what
Keep in mind, this is the opening joke of the special.
happened. And we couldn't get over the fact that we're like, this is the face of the company? Like, this is who you have greeting people? And my boy who I was with was like, yeah, I feel bad for her, man. I feel like they should put her in the kitchen or something where nobody has to see her face, you know? And I was like, yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye.
Like this.
I think that's funny. I don't think it's, oh my God, hilarious! You know, it's a premise we've heard before, but like, that's funny. That's good for a chuckle. That's good for a chuckle. And then I think she actually shows that he's like, all right, I'm just testing the waters with you guys. Specifically because he is a comedian coming from this space where he is not performing for comedy fans.
This is like 3 minutes in.
Yeah, this is the first. Yeah.
Just seeing if y'all are still fun. Just wanted to say.
So he's arguing that this was just like a little tester, dipping his toe in the water. Are you going to be fun or not? Are you going to laugh at this kind of joke? Like, do I have...
I thought it was funny. Shout out to Guam Tech. Welcome to the party. Frasier. I mean, all right, I guess. Frasier was a fun watch. I watched it when it was on Netflix because I was like, I wanted to see what the fuss was about. That it was the smart sitcom. That you had to be so intelligent to get it, and it was definitely a little bit more highbrow, but almost it was definitely not as bad as the way people try to make Big Bang Theory seem like a smart show. It wasn't that, but it had a little bit of that. So I mean, but funny enough, and yeah, exactly right. Good joke. Not the worst. But Bitter's exes. What? What are you talking about, bro? Bitter. Oh, you. I mean, that not. Anyway, moving on. And Niles is funny. I mean, it's definitely a good show. But let's end that here because it is going in the wrong direction for you guys. Most of you are saying The Office, guys. Many a times have I said that that the best sitcom ever is How I Met Your Mother. Unquestionable. Now we can have a conversation about that if you would like. But I mean, I have a How I Met Your Mother tattoo. Let's welcome a guest, Melted Mind Media. Welcome to the party. Oh, we also got Cottonmouth in the building from Twitch. Welcome. What is good, Melted Mind Media?
I'm good, bro. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Cheers to that. How you been, man?
I'm doing good, dude. I don't know how these people don't know that How I Met Your Mother is not your favorite sitcom.
Right.
You do not shut up about that being your favorite.
That's what I'm saying. I talk about it all the time. I've showed my tattoo. Yo, Neil Patrick Harris. It's just my shit.
I'm not gonna have this debate right now, but me and you have different ideas on the ending of that show. But
I'm saying, yeah. You're not smart enough to get it.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
So, are you? Have you heard of this Matt Rife dude?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen his TikToks and I've seen his YouTube shorts.
I was gonna ask you if he's all over shorts because I don't really use YouTube Shorts, but obviously a lot of people do TikToks and use them better. Zippy says Scrubs is better. No, Scrubs is good.
Yeah,
Scrubs is good. Scrubs definitely has that emotional aspect that How I Met Your Mother hits on the head. That allows it to be elevated, but I mean, and then House is not a sitcom. Like House is a good show, but not really in the same category.
What is House? Is it just like that medical show? Is that like a
Yeah,
medical?
like it's the British dude, or is he a British in the show? He's not British.
he's
in the
not
show, is he? the actor.
He's just a heroin
But,
addict.
yeah, he's basically a pillhead, and he just magically knows what's wrong with anyone, just based on looking at them or something.
Y'all are missing out on the best sitcom, Full House here.
First of all, did nobody miss out on Full House? We didn't grow up on Full House.
But no one's talking about Full House. That
Yeah,
is
because
one of the best. That's one of
no. It was cheesy as hell. It was good. It was perfect for what it was, but it didn't have like you're not in 2023, bro. I just rewatched Full House. Come on,
bro. When Fuller House came out, bro, everyone was like, "Oh, Fuller House." I'm like, that show's butt compared to Full House, dude.
Yep.
Urkel, bro. Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince, but again, these are like they're good, but the ones that you're gonna return to and watch them over and over and over and over.
That's it. Then like if you're like on like if it's not opinion based, like the most rewatched show ever, that's probably The Office.
I think it might be Friends.
Friends,
but it's one of them.
That's very. But Friends, okay, let's admit here, Friends is not the best sitcom. Like it's not even close.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely had the cultural aspect of what Seinfeld did, and then what the fuck were you talking about? My brain is farting. What show were we just talking about?
Full House?
No, the one before that.
House.
We're saying I am completely blanking.
Fresh Prince, Urkel.
Fresh Prince. So we were saying how like there was certain shows who we all loved Full House. Certain shows that kind of changed the even if they were not necessarily the best shows, they were impactful because we grew up watching them, and that was back in a time when everybody was watching the same show. Now, like, we're trying to talk about this huge comedian and nobody even knows who he is because it's like, well, if you watch this part of the internet or that part of the internet or that part of the internet.
Is Brooklyn Nine-Nine in the sitcom category, or is that more? So yeah, okay. Then what are we talking about? Like Parks and Rec, then, and also I would say Parks. I love Parks and Rec, and I also love freaking It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Ooh, that should have been on that. That should have been on the list. That's definitely. I think that one might be number 2 for me.
That one's amazing.
I think it's definitely How I Met Your Mother. Always Sunny it's up there. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is good. It's funny. It's kind of unique, but the Andy Samberg style humor just kind of gets old.
I would say they have amazing funny moments. Like the show has it's kind of like Family Guy, like they have their cut off, like they cut.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about Friends. Yeah, we do like it has the cut. Like, how like in Family Guy, it has like in like Family Guy, it does like the cut scene, like where it'll cut off to the joke. Yeah. I feel like Brooklyn Nine-Nine has like some tier like 1 versions of that, where like they'll say a joke and then it'll cut and then it'll be like freaking Terry Crews holding one of them up, shaking them down because like they said, like, do you remember the last time you tried to take Terry's yogurt? And then it's like,
the cut scenes are definitely they definitely do it the best. But like anybody who says How I Met Your Mother is meh just doesn't understand the show. It's just not meh.
It's not a meh show. I just didn't like the ending.
It's
a good show.
And if you don't see why they had to end it the way they did, then well, that's the question then. Because if you understand why they had to end it and you didn't like it, that's different than not liking it.
No, I know. I understand. It's like like this is the real, like it's not, and not everything's a fairy tale. Like no fairy tale ending into this. Like it's supposed to be a realistic ending. But it's just like I understand the ideas of shows having like the hero doesn't like it's not what you expect at the ending. Like the hero doesn't always like get the girl. Like I understand that, but like. Are those endings really satisfying? Like those endings can really be satisfying, but I just didn't feel like that one. Well, I was hoping, it'd be one. I was hoping to be a girl that was at least in the show that he had a love interest with.
I thought that might be the case, but once you understand the structure of the fact that they weren't showing the face, is that it couldn't be anybody in the story. And it's just the way that it came together was perfect. But we were talking about Friends, and so I was trying to say because we were talking about whether Friends was the most rewatched or The Office. And I brought up Seinfeld to say I think the it was Seinfeld was one of the okay. So we have Cheers, Frasier, Seinfeld, Friends, The Office, and then kind of everything else. In terms of how impactful they were to TV, how impactful they were to pop culture in general.
I would say location matters too, because Love and Marriage, in like from where I'm at, that was like, people loved, and Rita, like, oh my gosh, people would not stop watching. I like Rita. I think that's a pretty funny show, honestly.
I used to watch Rita. I don't know. It must have been like it was just airing at like a 7 o'clock time when I was allowed to watch TV before bedtime, or like 3:30 when I would get home from school or something. I had a very strict.
Now I'm thinking of all the TBS like freaking sitcoms, and I'm like, oh my gosh, King of Queens was pretty good. And then there's oh my gosh, Rosie O'Donnell's show. Then
I never really watched that.
I didn't watch it either, but like obviously it has to be good. No, I'm joking. I don't know.
Yeah, same opus. I never watched Friends until it was on Netflix, because I didn't really see the allure. And once it was there, I was like, all right, it's enough. It's a big enough thing in culture that I want to know what happened, even if it's not enjoyable to watch. Like, I just want to know. And I mean, again, it's a sitcom. It's got some funny things, but it's in the laugh track era. So the style of comedy is very different. When right after that you had the mockumentary style type shows, where even if you don't love that style, the way that those shows are shot, because they're not breaking for an audience and for laughter and for applause, that stuff, it flows I think a little bit more evenly.
Well, for like a good proportion of my very young life, I didn't have cable or internet, so I was watching antenna TV. So there was like a lot of shows I missed out on, but like Friends, like you'd always watch episodes of reruns of Friends when I was younger. I watched all those TV sitcoms because they were always on the free channels. And
and there's something about like I don't know. There's just something about when you are in that mood to just throw something on and you don't want to have to look for it. And like when you know that there's just TV on, there's reruns, you come in the middle of the episode, and it's just, there's a comfort there where you're much less likely to like open up Netflix and go to a particular episode and pick the middle of that episode. It's just a slightly different thing that I don't think any of us saw when streaming came around. Shout out to Indie Film. Thank you so much, brother. And of course, that is a treat for Morty. Thank you so much. Very, very much appreciated, sir. What are you saying?
I definitely think now let's say was Friends a good show for the time, or was it that there weren't as many shows like it? Like, let's say there were what other sitcoms were going on at the time of Friends that could you think of?
That's a good question.
Yeah, like there's probably some that maybe Friends was just so much better than those that I couldn't
What other sitcoms aired when Friends? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Oh, my so-called life. All right.
Another sitcom I just thought of that was what is the girl that goes to New York and has like 3 dude roommates? Oh my gosh, what is that called? Oh my gosh, I gotta look that up.
I don't remember. So I'm trying to look here. Do any of you guys remember? Yeah, it's not really showing the
Seinfeld. Oh, Everybody Loves Raymond, but everyone loved Raymond.
Everybody loves Raymond. Yep.
Show.
I used to love that. And you mentioned King of Queens before. That was definitely a good one. Yeah, Everybody Loves Raymond. Gontek said, "How about What We Do in the Shadows?" Not my favorite, but it's definitely worth the watch. Never even heard of it. What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, that's the vampire. That's like they got a British version of that, and
makes sense.
That also has oh my gosh, the dude the comedian that Joe Rogan has on all the time, and they like dress up in costumes every time he's on.
Duncan Trussell?
Yes, he's in that. He's in the new seasons of that.
I agree. Opus Said, I think Everybody Loves Raymond was objectively better than Friends. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. I think and the way that they used that style of, a very small cast and a very, it was the main house, it was Raymond's house or the parents' house. And it was just there. The way that they created big scenes with just that was, it was really well done. All right. So let's dive back in. Oh, Home Improvement. Good call.
Oh my. Okay, that's probably my.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That cast was way more.
New Girl.
New Girl was a little bit later.
That was later, but that was just one I thought of. There was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like for one scene, he goes to get a car and like take a car to chase down another car. It's like police of business, and it's her in the car. She's like, "You're not taking my Subaru." And it's her like freaking out. She gets in the passenger seat and he drives her around like for like a part of the episode, and that was pretty funny.
Oh god. All right, let's dive back into these bitter exes getting mad at Matt Rife for doing just what he do.
I have enough dudes in the audience that are gonna think this is funny, like, or are you too sensitive or whatever? But anyway, like, guys, if you thought that his rise to fame was meteoric, his fall from grace on TikTok was just as profound and just as fast. Honestly, fast.
And again, I don't necessarily agree that there's been a downfall. There's definitely been a lot of pushback, but I see him doing well. He was just on what you call it? Tom Segura, Not Your Mom's House, Two Bears, One Cave. He was just on Two Bears, One Cave. And so I think in the comedy world, the fact that he is how he's handling this, which they'll touch on as well, I think he's gonna be just fine.
He's definitely. I haven't ever since like all this controversy coming out with him. He's not being pushed in the algorithm as much because I've not seen him probably in the last week. I have not seen him on the algorithm.
Definitely not. Well, he also talks about how one of the things he loves about having these young female fans is that they're so passionate that he doesn't have to like do advertising. They'll make their own clips and post it on their own TikToks and like put his shit out there. So now all those chicks are now not doing anything. Because I mean, it's obviously him that posts the original thing, but then they, repost it and they'll do the side-by-side thing. And
actually, I might have saw one of his. I think I did see one of his today, where a chick. I don't know if she faked having a stroke in the crowd or actually had a stroke in the crowd, like at his show. But I think I saw that actually clip today. That I think of now. I think about it.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't because I know he pulled her up on the stage and then she took a picture with him and he was like, "That was a sick joke if that was fake." Like, and I think she might have tried to fake that.
Maybe. Oh, so we're at a shifting point. For every woke loser he loses as a fan, he will pick up 3 counterculture fans. Exactly.
Faster, in my opinion. Like, listen to these comments. He's about to be working in a kitchen after this special. Somebody else said he sounds like a frat guy whose friends.
Wait. Brett, you everything in comedy.
Listen to these comments.
Everything in comedy is timing. It's not he's going to be working in a kitchen. It's he's going to be working in a kitchen because he joked about her being in a kitchen. Come on.
He's about to be working in a kitchen after this special.
It's not he's about to be working in a kitchen. He's about to be working in a kitchen, which is another TikTok trend. And maybe this is going around on YouTube Shorts. Maybe not. But the I forget what the sentence is. I don't know, but there's a sentence and then you say it a bunch of different times and you're talking about how which words that you stress. And it would be like, Morty's, or I didn't say she stole the money. So the sentence, I didn't say, hey, shout out to Blaine Pardo. Good to see you, Blaine. Thank you so much for coming by. One of my very, very first guests. Very glad to see you, brother. Glad to see you. The notion that the sentence I didn't say she stole the money could mean very different things. If you say I didn't say she stole the money, I didn't say she stole the money. I didn't say she stole the money, and just reminded me of that. Anyway, moving on.
Somebody else said he sounds like a frat guy whose friends told him he was hilarious. Somebody else said, "Oh, I heard it was bad, but that is bad." Now, personally, I did not find that joke funny, but I'm never going to try to censor a comedian or take some holier than thou stance and say, "Oh, you can't say that, you went too far, that's a topic you can't touch," because I do think that edgy comedy is good and important, especially in our very, very soft culture. I think it's necessary, but this joke wasn't even like clever. or funny. Like there was not a point or a punchline. It was lazy. It's like an outdated joke that has been done so many times at this point. And maybe that's what he was trying to achieve. Like, let me do a really lazy old joke that is very edgy and see if people laugh and then I'll move on with it. But
yeah, that's what I was saying, is that because he's garnered this specific audience, he has to open the special and show everybody like, hey, this is because if you don't like the first joke, you're certainly not going to like anything else. And I'd rather you turn it off now than you see all the other stuff. And then, I think that was a smart move. And so it's interesting. I don't remember a time when I specifically disagreed with Brett. Because again, it's not like she has super deep takes and she talks about pop culture and stuff. But yeah, I don't agree. But you got to see the kicker. Did you see the apology?
No, I did not. Oh, no.
The rest of the special wasn't that great either. And I've watched a lot of his crowd work in the past and I've laughed out loud, but that opening joke just was not it. And if I think that, then I could only imagine the internet's response, which is, a lot more trigger happy than I am. And let's just say that I have not found anything positive regarding that joke. And I think that this one girl summed up all of their feelings pretty well.
Matt Rife is really so silly because he had like such a loyal audience of women who really liked him, whether that be for his looks, his comedy, whatever. They made him successful. And then he's like, that's not enough because like I want men to like me and it'll never be enough unless the men like me. So then he makes a special absolutely just like shitting on women so that men will like him. But the catch is it's not funny. So the men don't even like it.
Again, I found it funny. I didn't think it was amazing, but he's a young comic. I think he was, it was enjoyable. And so the idea that he messed up because he's not catering to you is just so typical. It's so typical. And exactly what Oprah said before is that for every one fan that doesn't like comedy anyway, that would probably only go to one of his shows one time to see him once, and for every one of those fans that he loses, he's going to get way more fans who are who see this apology and are going to be like, based.
It writes itself. Like this whole situation is actually funnier than the special.
And she's right. It honestly is. Like this is funnier than that joke. Like I think her TikTok was more well thought out than that joke because again, I think it was just.
Well, I think what's funnier than the special is all of their reactions. Not her specific TikTok, but I think the fact that, yeah, exactly. Women are so sexist these days. It really is. It really is. What did we just talk about yesterday?
Lazy. And this TikTok was pretty mild in the grand scheme of things, but let's just say that there have been a lot of very, very angry and triggered Matt Rife feminist fans who have been posting about misogyny and sexism for days at this point. Somebody commented and said, oh, the girls turning on Matt Rife was not on my bingo card. Somebody else said the TikTok rise and the Netflix fall of Matt Rife, which is a good way to sum it up. Now, on a more positive note, before the special, he had another quote 100%. In that Variety article that ironically prepared him well for all of this hate that he's receiving. And he said, I don't really adhere to this whole sensitivity rumor in the comedy world that you can't say anything anymore. That's bullshit. You can say whatever you want. Now you have to prepare for repercussions. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to how you sleep at night. You know what I mean? Other people's perspective of you isn't your responsibility. So how can you sleep at night? The way I look at it, as a comedian, everything comes down to intent. And you know what? I really have to give it to Matt because he did not bend a knee and he did not apologize, which I think is fantastic. And, I do completely agree with this take and everything that he said, especially about, people's perspective of you is not your responsibility. And I'd say that he is approaching comedy the right way, except maybe he should stick
you know what? No. I'm gonna let, instead of Brett being,
I think this just
this is the apology.
I'm sorry. Did you see Matt Rife's Instagram story? I'm never one to throw my hat in the ring to talk about celebrities in this way. But oh my God, apparently there are a few jokes in there that people are getting offended by or upset about. And in response, he posted this.
Bunch of fifis.
If you've ever been offended by a joke I've told, here's a link to my official apology.
So it's just a picture of him on stage. It says, have you ever been offended by a joke I've told? Here's a link to my official apology. And then he uses the link thing and it says, tap to solve your issue.
And the link is to special needs helmets. I'm not.
I mean, come on,
dude.
Come on. Dude. Brilliant. I think that so many people were, were willing to be like,
if you write a mess,
I think that's based. And maybe I wasn't really into comedy before, but I certainly am going to be paying attention now.
I thought of something earlier that you said about her not getting the joke of he's going to be working in the kitchen with. You tweeted earlier today about Tim doing the Tim Dillon story.
Yeah, we actually have that.
Oh, you do? Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna do that after, but yeah, why don't we?
Oh, we can. Yeah, because this is a problem that I have with Tim a lot and his pop culture views.
Yep, same, and that's any opportunity that I have to to be like Tim, I disagree with you, is good because a lot of the things that I talk about Tim is me agreeing with him. So I do want to put it out there that just because I agree with most of the things he says doesn't mean that I'm not watching with a critical eye. So going from one stand-up comedy story to another, check this out.
The confidence of a white 24-year-old male from California is part of the line from a joke that Tim Dillon made. Let me make something very clear for you guys. I don't care about the jokes you want to laugh at. I don't care.
Actually, you know what? Let's actually watch the full thing because I don't think he plays the whole. Tim Dillon.
Another thing that Tim was talking about was here it was when the Mario movie came out, and he was talking about how he says it's a girl power film because Peach knows how to do all the stuff in the Mario Kingdom. But I'm I don't think you watched the movie. I don't think he even watched the movie when he complained about it, because she's been there her whole entire life since she was a baby. Of course she's gonna know how to use all the mushrooms and everything better than Mario does, who just got there for the first time. She is able to jump around and use the mushrooms correctly and throw fireballs perfectly, and Mario's just a little. It's he just got there and he was a plumber.
That was the whole point, right?
Yeah. Do you not what do you think he should just go in and be I'm a man, I'm the I know how to do everything, I'm a plumber. It's
yeah,
it doesn't.
Yeah, he can be a little off base here. I couldn't find the original thing. Oh, it's on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull that up because I really would like to. Tim Dillon. Oh God, what is I? All right, here we go.
24. What's that look like? You young? How old are you? 24. What do you do in your life? 24. What's that look like? Real estate. Good for you. Sell some houses. You have your own firm. Development. You have a real estate development firm at 24 years old. That's it. You started a real estate development firm at 24 years old. You stop. No one in the family's in it? Your dad's in it. Just works at a job. There's nothing wrong with that. His dad has a real estate development firm, and he works there. But I asked him what he did for a living, and with a straight face, he looked in my eyes and he goes, I have a real estate development firm. And I go, you started it? He goes, yes. I did. And then I go, so no one else in your family works there? And he goes, my God. The confidence of a white 24-year-old from California is insane.
So that's it. That's the whole bit right there. And so I find that hilarious. Fuck Matt Rife. That was hilarious. Spot on. There is no way that you're looking at this kid. And again, it's something that you can tell the difference between, especially, let's say between 16 and 25. There's a wide variety of, what if you're looking at a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old, that could be very different. A very immature 21-year-old is going to be very immature, but a mature 21-year-old, could hang out with anybody else. And so you could tell just by the way that Tim was addressing him that he's like, you have a real estate firm, and the fact that he was right is the funny part of the joke, that he didn't have a reason to think that is reasonable, that this 24-year-old kid was would start his own company. Context said Tim has some crap views on movies and shows pretty often. Yeah, definitely on the movies and shows. It's just, I don't get it, but we'll dive into this one here. I want to post and Melty. Your local plumbers don't get taught fireball throwing and proper mushroom usage during their apprenticeships. What a boring apprenticeship program.
The throwing fireballs, X cans, and lighters, fireballs right there, and then proper mushroom usage. People around here, I would not be surprised about that.
There you go. There you go. The context says the delivery was good, with the premise was weak. Are we talking Tim Dillon, or are we talking Matt Rife?
I think he's talking about Tim Dillon with the I can understand the premise being weak. Like you're like, oh, like because there's like ways you could think about, like maybe this kid's like he hired his dad, and like he's like, yeah, my dad works with me. And he's like, I hired him to do office stuff because I know like there's people that I like work with contracts with at my job, and he owns the company and his dad works for him. And like I can understand that, but the joke, like that's not what the joke was. Like it's like, are you Tim? Tim's gonna be Tim Pool is gonna say, like when a comedian says something that he agrees with that he thinks is funny, he's gonna say that people are getting mad about. He's like, comedians make stuff up and make jokes all the time, and that's something they use, right? But as soon as someone like a comedian or someone else, like it's a joke that people don't like or it comes out as fake, people are like, oh, it's not real, it's not a real joke. It's like that. What do you think comedians have been doing this? Like, do you really think Bert went to Russia? Bert Kreischer went to Russia, and
I honestly don't know.
No,
I honestly don't
know. He did not.
Did you watch that movie though? The Machine?
No.
It was a pretty funny movie. I mean, it was stupid, but it was, it was worth it. So Gonzax here is saying that delivery was good, but the premise was weak. This is crowd work. So there is no premise here. He's just talking to somebody. He just picks someone out and he asks, what do you do? And just by the fact of looking at him, he was able to dig in and see that clearly he did not start a firm. That was my interpretation of this. So it's not a premise. A premise is when you are bringing something to the table. He didn't bring anything to the table. He just said, how old are you? What do you do? So there is no premise. There's a lack of premise. So Tim thinks MCU is peak entertainment. I mean,
maybe
so
like,
but
maybe like, yeah, or like up to Endgame. Like, yeah, it's pretty peak.
And yeah, he's been very harsh on Marvel as well, which is, part of going into what I was saying about crap views on movies and TV shows. MCU is included on that. So let's see what he has to say about the bit we just saw.
The confidence of a white 24-year-old male from California is part of the line from a joke that Tim Dillon made. Let me make something very clear for you guys. I don't care about the jokes you want to laugh at. I don't care about the jokes other people say. You can quite literally, to my face, make the most vile joke, even about me. And you're allowed to do it. I ain't going to cry about it. But I am going to whinge about this joke, and not so much joke, but interaction from a Tim Dillon show that he posted the other day.
So Anyfilm says a 24-year-old could start his own quote-unquote firm in real estate, rehabbing houses, and also having his retired father working for him. He could, but when you ask, is anybody else working there? And you say no, or did you start it all by yourself? And you say yes, then that's not really what we're talking about. You would the way that we would talk about this, you would say I flip houses. You wouldn't say I own a real estate firm.
Yeah.
Well, even though it may be true, like what you're doing, and if the fact that this is San Diego, like it's very obvious that this is a place where people do that. So that is also part of the joke.
Well, and then even let's say like the way he could answer this and this not turn into a joke. He could said, I started a company with my dad and we flip houses. Like, or me and my dad.
Bingo.
Me and my dad started in like if that's like if he actually did it with his dad and he didn't he may have not trying to be a heckler. Like he may not here's the joke. Like he may actually be a good audience to like, here's the crowd work, here's the joke. Now I don't people are laughing. I'm not gonna come back because that was funny. But he might he could have been like the dude that's like, no, actually I hired my dad and he's retired and I hired him to my company. Like that's like you're trying to go there to have fun. And you if you go to a comedy show and crowd work gets done on you, you should be happy. You go there. That's like one of the goals of going there is like you get part of the crowd work.
Well, I mean, think about what we were just saying with Matt Rife is that all the fans were so mad that it wasn't not even them, but just more crowd work to see.
Yeah. And then dude, we should have mentioned this because now we're talking about Temple. But with that Matt Fife thing, like that chick even talks about if they liked him for his looks or anything. And it's like, okay, you don't think like a dude that subscribes to a girl for OnlyFans, like don't like you obviously they like him for their looks, but I bet that girl would be mad if someone's like, I'm unsubscribing from this girl's OnlyFans because she did some shit that I didn't like, so I'm gonna unsubscribe her from her OnlyFans. You think that girl would probably be like, what? That's why would you unsubscribe from her? It's like, I don't know.
You gotta separate the art from the artist, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone said about Michael Jackson until all that stuff. Like everyone like came out and was like, actually, I've heard. Didn't that dude like get mad and try to like? Oh my gosh, there's so much on that the documentary.
Yeah, that's a whole rabbit hole.
Yeah,
I didn't even finish that because like it was just too. It was nasty. Like it wasn't informative. It was, I mean, it was informative, but not unlike the circumstances of how this could be and why the parents thought this. It was just like, yeah, it was. I don't like. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
So
but then
says, I honestly don't like comedians doing crowd work. Just seems forced most of the time. Just spoil me with the scripted stuff.
What?
So you understand that the point of crowd work is to get away from the forced stuff, which is the scripted stuff, to do something more organic in the moment. I'm not saying you have to like it, but this isn't like.
I understand all crowd work, like if it's all crowd work, and then there's bad crowd work. Like there's obviously like, especially if the fans aren't like giving good answers or like, you know, like there's just one word answers that are crap. Like sometimes a comedian can work with that, but then some comedians go up and try to do crowd work, and it's like, what do you do for a living? I'm a carpenter. And then it's like, oh, you're a carpenter. It's like they don't have a good joke. You have to be to be a good comedian, you have to be able to work with anybody and find what the room likes and figure out what jokes work with the room.
Right. And be quick. Because it's forced that you're having to say something, but the trying to force a joke is okay. I guess that's what you mean, that maybe it's not as polished as a scripted joke because you're just working with what's there and you have to force it together. I guess if that's what you mean, I understand. But when it works, I think crowd work is the funniest part of a lot of comedians.
Guamtech, would you like crowd work if the crowd member that's getting made fun of is a plant and like it's all scripted with that? Like every single time the dude comes out and does crowd work, it's always the same crowd work jokes with the same dude in the crowd every time saying the same answers. Like
right, exactly. So I mean, it depends on what the material actually is.
Well, and then imagine you go to Joe Rogan's or Joe Diaz's that were working for a special, and you go to one of their shows while they're trying to set up for a special, and you go like 6 months, like in the same 6 months before they do a special. So they're doing the same work, like they're doing the same scripted stuff.
Yep.
So imagine you go and it's like, oh my gosh, dude, like these jokes are funny, but like I've already
heard them already.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, you hear some jokes like, oh, that's a funny joke, but I heard that one. Then he does some crowd work for the people that have already, you know, come and seen his stuff all the time, his fans. Like,
yep,
exactly.
Yep, spot on. All right, let's see what's up Tim's beanie today.
I'll tell you why. With 92,828 likes, Tim Dillon roasts a white 24-year-old man for being overconfident.
For being overconfident. What a cope. What a cope, Tim. That is not at all the premise of what happened. He was making fun of him for lying.
I can't wait to watch this video. I watched 7 minutes in. And I was like, I've got better videos to watch at 10 o'clock today.
Well, here's the thing is that, especially again, because I agree with him so much, I want to fully sink my teeth into any place where I don't agree with him so that I can better understand what is my opinion and what is his opinion. So, and I mean, we don't have to go through this whole thing, but I just want to get to his main point. But that's specifically when I want to pay attention. It's like, okay, this is something different. I don't agree with this. It's coming out of Tim's mouth. So
laughs at it. And that's fine if they laugh at it, because you're allowed to laugh at a lot of things. Not every joke is true, but they say every joke has its truth. The story here with this joke is that a 24-year-old, 24, should not own a company, should not be successful. If they are, they're lying. Someone gave it to them, and everyone laughs as Tim Dillon says, this dude did not start a company. He works for his family.
So that is where I disagree. So you said you saw my tweet, and I basically just shared. I shared the video, and I was like, Tim, I love you, bro, but like this ain't it. And basically, when I explained that the fact that it is true, that it was true, that he didn't start the company, the fact that that is true makes it funny. if he did actually start the company, and like nobody else in your family, you know what I mean? Well, my dad works there, but or like let's say he said, well, my sister works under me or something like that, then that wouldn't have been funny. That was just like, oh, okay. The joke is that he knew he was lying because it is very possible. Well, but it's not with that kid.
Well, the thing is like, even okay. So let's say his dad is retired and works, and he started the company himself. That's not what Tim was trying. That's not what Tim Dillon was trying to get out of the joke. He didn't care. Tim Dillon did not care if the dude was going to explain that his dad works under him, like, and explain all that. No, Tim Dillon's like, oh, your dad works with you. Like, that was what the joke was.
Yeah, like that.
He was in San Diego trying to work a San Diego crowd. He's going to talk about making fun of white guys because he's trying to get laughs.
True. Yep. Any film said, wait, how do you know it's true he didn't start the company? I never heard that part. I think you're assuming this. Are you joking? I mean, he definitely said his dad it's his dad's company and he works for his dad's company.
Well, but even so, that's not what Tim Dillon was trying to go for with the joke in the first place. That it was like, that was the joke. Tim Dillon is trying to push that as the joke, that his dad and his dad's the boss. Like, that's all that Tim Dillon wants. Like, it doesn't matter what really is the situation with the dude and his dad.
Exactly.
That doesn't matter with his joke.
Exactly.
Maybe not. Let me play the joke for you, and then I'll break down for you what my concern is. I will state it not to bury the lead. This joke, in my opinion, exemplifies the failures of the millennial generation. Not Gen Z, not Gen X, not boomers, millennials. Tim Dillon's a millennial. He's 4 months older than me. And so I'm wondering why it is that you can get a crowd of people all laughing at the idea that it's impossible a 24-year-old could start a company. There was a poll I covered last week.
Remind me not to take Tim or indie film to any comedy shows. Yes, indie film. This could be correct. The joke is that the dad works there. If the dad works there, it's likely that the dad is in charge and the son is not. That's the end of the joke. It may be in reality that the son started a company and the dad, but you're missing it. You're just
that wasn't even the thing of like the punchline of the joke is like the confidence of a white man in San Diego. That was the punchline. That was where the joke, like that he was making fun of like San Diego and Tim. Like, I don't understand why Tim Pool doesn't see the joke there. Like if you watch Tim Dillon, he's not about this woke stuff. Like,
definitely not.
That's why I don't. Tim Dillon's been on Timcast. That's what, like, obviously, I don't.
Yeah, I agree. He's just coming off like a little like it's not that serious. It's not that serious. And this is what happens when, we look at the woke side. When they take things too seriously, it's an issue because then it snowballs and then somebody loses their job and this, that, the other. Then Tim's doing the same thing. People say, okay, so regardless of reality, I should just be like, okay, that's the joke. Yes, that's comedy. It's called comedy. You say things, and whether they're true or not, the fact that everybody understood that the implication was that the father owned the company and the kid was trying to say that he owned the company when he only worked there is funny. That's it.
Do you remember
regardless of the reality of the situation?
There was like a comedian just a little bit ago that I think he was Indian. And he was more like of a woke comic, and he was like, he got canceled for putting up, I think it was like a picture of his girl and someone with their face covered, and like it was obvious who they were. Like, he put them up during a special or something, and they sued him.
Oh,
but then they were like,
he said that a white girl, he's an Indian dude, and he said that a white girl agreed to go to prom with him, and then he showed up on the day only for him to see that she was holding hands with another white guy to go to the prom, and he made it seem like this racist thing, and it turns out it was completely made up. And so the issue and the difference there is that when you are giving dates and names and stuff like that, and when I went to high school and this, then the untruth becomes too real for the joke. Like, now people are actually going after this woman because of the scope of the lie. So it's not the same thing as twisting and playing on expectations. Like that's what the joke is. That the joke is that we can all understand the implication that it's probably not his company if he's a 24-year-old white dude in San Diego. That's the joke. You may not find it funny. You may be able to understand that despite that being the joke, the reality could be that he started the company and the dad just works there. Sure. But that's not what it's a comedy show. It's not a documentary on the kid in the fucking in the crowd.
Yeah, but like that dude, like when he started getting canceled by people that were like woke, they're like, it turns out his stuff isn't like his jokes aren't even real stories. It's like, no way. Like,
how dare you?
No way. Like, come on. You think all these comedian stories are 100% true? Like, events may be like based off something,
right?
And then like they add some more to make it even funnier for the moment.
Yeah, and like I think one time when Andrew Schultz was talking about this on his podcast, they were talking about specifically this, like where's the line between changing the story? Oh, they were talking about Hasan Minhaj. And he was like, sometimes like I remember I have this joke right now, and it has to do with it's basically two different events, but I just kind of make them happen at the same time because that's the way the joke works. And so there's a level of exaggeration and hyperbole, and there's a thin line between that and a lie.
Yeah,
and I don't think that the Tim Dillon thing has anything to. I think that's on the side of the implication that we can all expect that when a 24-year-old says I started a company, that you started a company all by yourself. Not that it's impossible, but millennials are fucking lazy. So most millennials are not starting companies. Vivek is a millennial. Nobody's saying that like, oh, Vivek can't be president. He's just a millennial. That's not what anybody is saying. That's not the joke. That's not what's being said. The implication is that millennials are lazy. Millennials are lazy. The kid did work for his dad. And okay, maybe technically we don't know that for sure. But we certainly would have heard that the next part if he was like, oh no, that didn't happen. Like, Tim wouldn't be covering this without bringing that up if that was part of the special. Tim going through his boomer arc. Yep.
I'm not gonna say you're right, but
on what?
That was the Guam Tech. I'm not gonna say you're right, but
a little bit. One folks said Trump didn't even start his first company all by himself. He got a $1 million loan. Yeah, and that's like, I don't see where he's even coming from. Like,
but wait, how many companies get loans like to start? Like, if it comes from the bank or if it comes from a family member, which they might get, you might get extra benefit from that. But still, like people start, like you start from somewhere. Some people pull themselves up from their bootstraps, but some people have to get help along the way there. And some people are nice enough just to give help from the start. What is that?
Yeah. And Opus is right. Getting a loan doesn't mean you didn't start your own company. I mean, definitely true. Definitely true. All right, what do you say here?
24-year-old could start a company. There was a poll I covered last week where millennials say they need $500,000 in order to feel comfortable, whereas Gen Z, Gen X, and Boomers say 120 to 130,000, which is a bit more reasonable. It is, I believe, at that number, it's where you're considered to be just above middle class, to where you're saving up, you have 2 weeks vacation, clothing, health insurance, etc.
Wait, his claim is that the average millennial thinks that we need $500,000 a year?
He did a video on that the other day, and it was a website put that up. I forget. But that's like what apparently your average millennial thinks that's what they need to survive. Like that's
all the more reason
to be comfortable.
All the more reason why Tim Dillon's joke works, because millennials are fucking stupid. I can tell you as one of them.
And that's why the capital or the universal basic income will not work if every single person thinks they need to be comfortable at $500,000.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even my dad bought my laptop that I used to run, the one that I have upstairs, the one that I used to run the show on. He helped me pay for the monitor and stuff. So like, there's nothing wrong with getting help and like I remember part of the Saint Michael arc was that like he was saying that I didn't have my own channel, or that I was a trust fund baby or something. And it's like, yes, my parents have given me money, but like they're not like bankrolling me. Y'all know I'm fucking broke as shit.
Yeah, like the laptop I started on. Guess what? That was like my Christmas present.
There we go. Thank you, sir. Throwing in a joke as well, and of course a treat for morning.
Dude, now all the
there you go.
All the wokies are gonna come after you, saying Indie Film gave you a loan of $5.
Yep. And I guess this isn't my channel anymore.
Yeah,
it's all yours, buddy.
Or like Vivek, you're a stooge for Indie Film because he gave you $5.
Yep. Hey, we got Splits in the building. Welcome to the party. Been here since before my last birthday. An OG in the building. An OG. Welcome, sir. Thank you for being here.
I think I'm probably at 8 months, maybe, watching your channel.
Nice. Said, I call BS. They must have polled millennials in New York City. Stop doing polls in big cities. People walking the streets in big cities are not representative of normal people.
I don't live in a big city at all. And I talk to a lot of people around that are my age in this area, and I'm telling you, a lot of them are going to say over $100,000 a year is what would make them comfortable. Or
I mean, we've definitely seen millennial women say that. But they're talking about their dream, what they want for a man. Not that I need this minimum amount.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess with the phrasing to be what is comfortable.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is comfortable. Like, I like 15-minute city. Like, I eat ramen. Like, I survive. I can breathe air. I live in a cardboard box. Like,
yeah. I mean, certainly that we're not talking about like basic comforts, like one level above, one level above survival. So a weird poll, but all right, let's see what he's got to say about it.
500 millennials are broken people. They tend to, and everyone's like, but Tim, you're a millennial. Duh. What does that have to do with anything? You're allowed to criticize if you're in a group or not. I'm not saying quite literally every single millennial is bad at what they do.
So what is it that you are saying?
Millennials as a generation tend towards entitlement, laziness, and a lack of confidence in their own abilities.
So that's exactly why it is funny that a millennial would be talking about starting their own business. And Tim could know. And first of all, 24 would be Gen Z anyway, wouldn't it? But I don't know. He's so off here. Shout out to Captain Goobies and happy birthday. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the party. I did just outlive Jesus.
Jesus? The dude I work with? No.
Any film said I'm not over 6 feet. I don't make six figures, and the last one is up for debate. But I'm pretty comfortable. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm right there. I could be happy with way less than that. I think I could make. I live a very simple life. I think if I was making 65, 70, like obviously I wouldn't want that to be my ceiling. But if I was making that, I would be comfortable. Yeah. I would be happy.
I don't make $125,000 a year, and how I'm living, I'm pretty comfortable with at the moment.
Depending on your lifestyle, you really don't need that much money. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like I just bought a nice computer and everything. Like, it's like you just save up. You just gotta work a job, work hard at it. If you're not making enough money at the job you're at now, then you may have to start your own career doing something that is relevant in your area that people aren't doing.
Right. So I think we might have a comment of the night. Hold up. Tim is unironically using generalizations now as if it's normal while having a problem with someone else using generalization and a joke. Dilly.
My water.
That's one for a comment of the night and one for projection.
It's just it must have been just a slow news day, man. Like it
really was.
Yeah,
it really was.
There was a lot going on over the week that he didn't do any videos. Like, just go back and do some coverage on that stuff.
Yeah, I agree, Opus. Again, this is and again, I like the opportunity to be able to tear into particular points that Tim makes that I don't agree with, because there are so many things that I do agree with him. Like, don't get me wrong, he is my favorite internet personality, but like, this ain't it, bro. This
My
ain't it.
favorite, I think mine's the Indian Jesus, but
Hey,
Totally
shout
not.
out to CT223 in the building. Welcome to the party. Thank you so much, sir. Captain Gooby said, I'd be okay living in a camper if there was legit internet.
Starlink, bro.
Nah, I need stuff around. Like I don't.
Yeah.
I need, I need a Walmart or a Target within 5-10 minute drive. I need a walkable gas station or quick check Wawa type deal. Like I need stuff around me.
I need something that doesn't get picked up by a hurricane or a tornado easily.
True. One of my folks said, I would love to make that amount. That city girls think is average income. That's like around $300K a year. Yep. So we are talking about Tim Pool. I call him Tim. My point is Pool. He repeats my point so much. Well, we all have our mannerisms, right? But yeah, we were talking about when his cover was this from today or yesterday? From yesterday, when he's talking about Tim Dillon's joke about the millennial or the Gen Z, actually, the Gen Zer, the Zoomer, who said he started his own company and then with a little bit of prodding realized that he just works for daddy.
Laziness and a lack of confidence in their own abilities.
That's the joke.
Let me play you this clip. We'll take a listen to what our good friend, I like Tim Dillon. I'm not trying to rag on him.
Perfect time.
But I think this idea should be criticized. Is it? We're getting sound here.
What do you do in your life, 24? What's that look like?
So again, the start. What do you do with your life? What does that look like? If I'm Tim Dillon and I'm asking that question, what I'm expecting is some sort of party thing, some sort of parties or girls, maybe cars or a hobby of some sort. I mean, I guess it would be more like anime or comics these days. But that's where I'm thinking he's going. Like.
Is it? We're getting sound here.
What do you do in your life, 24? What's that look like? Real estate. Good for you. Sell some houses.
So again, he said real estate, and Tim asked for a little bit more. And he said, I have a development firm. You could end the clip right there, and it would still be funny. Notice how people are already laughing because they already get it.
Okay. Real estate, good for you.
So no laughs at real estate.
Sell some houses. You have your own firm. Development. You have a real estate development firm at 24 years old. That's it. You started a real estate development firm at 24 years old.
Pause. And again, you can pause there and hear that people are laughing. People get the joke.
The joke right there is like that. Like that's it. Like your own development firm. That's it at 24 years old. That's crazy. Like that's like the people are like he's like, oh, that's it. Like, oh, that's all you've done. Like that's what the joke is, that he's saying like it like that, and that's why some people are laughing.
Yeah. So that's another aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tim Pool's assessment is just like very off. CT here says it's funny because Tim Dillon knows a lot about real estate. That's where he developed his coke addiction. He was in the finance side. Interesting. Did not know that. A little bit of little tidbit there.
I was right here. You can already hear chuckling in the audience as Tim Dillon expresses, you started a real estate development firm at 24 years old. Really, you did. And people are chuckling. The premise already.
No. As Melty just said, that's it? You only started a development firm at 24 years old?
Yeah.
That's also part of the joke.
Yeah.
Is that this 24-year-old could not have started his own real estate development firm.
No.
Wrong.
I'm going to break down for you exactly how he very easily could, but let's play some more.
Nobody cares, Tim.
Yeah.
Do you think we don't understand that 24-year-olds can have companies? Like, Unwanted foes. So maybe Timmy took this joke a little bit personally. That makes sense.
Too
That
bad
does
he's
make
not
sense.
24. Tim's not 24 years old. He's like, how old?
Well,
He's like way older than 24.
No, but Unwanted Foe is saying that when Tim was 24, he was doing his own thing and starting, so the notion that a 24-year-old couldn't do that, first of all, again, was not the point. And two, Unwanted Foe is saying like, well, I started when I was 24, so what do you mean that we couldn't do it? I think you're right. I think you're right.
What do you think Tim Dillon was doing when he was 24? He was either being a comedian or, like, as CT was saying, he was in the real estate district.
There you go. There you go.
He's doing real estate.
It's Tim Pool is just like, this is just a miss. And that's okay. You're allowed to miss. I'm sure I've had plenty of misses before, and I guarantee you I will have misses again. But that's why I got you guys to call me out on it and do exactly what we are doing right now.
You're allowed to take a joke wrong and not like maybe like you hear like sometimes you hear something when you're thinking in a wrong mindset and you completely hear it the wrong way and don't like get it, which is an understandable thing to do. But
it doesn't mean you're a horrible person, but we're definitely going to call you out.
Yeah.
Yourself. No one in the family's in it? Your dad's in it.
So again, the notion that he didn't even have to say, he never said, well, wait, you didn't start at that point. He hasn't said you didn't start the company. Your dad started the company. He didn't say that yet. But everybody is still laughing. Everybody is still laughing. Why is everybody still laughing? Because the implication is that a Zoomer, a 24-year-old, is much more likely to lie about that in San Diego, is much more likely to lie about that than to actually have done it. That is the joke.
I just imagine this dude's with his Tinder date that he's got like, oh my God, 3,000 swipes, bro. A girl finally matched and we're going on a date. And then he's like, I told her I was in real estate. I just work under my dad and help him flip houses. I'm in real estate. And he's just like getting grilled because he just told this girl that he owns his own company. And
I just saw one dude who had I guess
3 million
or something. Yeah. Is that what
I saw it in my recommendations
3 million swipes, one date, and 0 relationships. Come on. Context said the only person's comedy Tim Pool likes is Seamus. And that's because he gets to be Dr. Fauci.
Yeah.
The droplets.
There it is. Everyone busts out laughing because his dad is in it. Okay. All right, let's listen to some more, and then I'm gonna go off on that.
He just works in a job. There's nothing wrong with that. His dad is a real estate development firm.
His dad is a real estate development firm, and he works there.
Yes.
When did the kid say that? The kid said he started it, and his dad's in it.
Bruh.
And already, the narrative has shifted. No, I get it.
Do you though?
Bro.
Do you though?
Oh my gosh.
I don't think you do, bro.
Imagine if every comedy show that you ever gone to was the comedian and the dude having a like 5-minute conversation about their lives with like 4 different, like you're just like, oh my God.
Indie Boom was bringing up Andy Kaufman. That would be some Andy Kaufman shit. Just be like, oh my God. Yeah, he got his feefies hurt. He's got his feefies hurt. CT said this is crowd work. It's not supposed to be over analyzed. That's what we were saying before.
There's a reason why Tim's not a comedian.
Yep.
Make a joke and laugh everybody. So regardless of what's true, he's now saying, here we go.
Correct.
Let me play more.
That is comedy. Regardless of what is true, I'm going to say the thing that is the funniest. That is what we are doing here.
And he works there. But I asked him what he did for a living, and with a straight face, he looked in my eyes and he goes, I have a real estate development firm.
So what part of that is not funny? What part of that is not funny?
And I go, you started it? He goes, yes, I did. And then I go, so no one else in your family works there? And he goes, my dad. The confidence of a white 24-year-old from California is insane.
And that's the major punchline because he's in a San Diego crowd in Wokeville. He's trying to get laughs from people that are probably just like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Comedy Store. I don't know who's gonna be there. And like he's like, all right, I'm in San Diego. I'm gonna work this crowd to get fans. So he's gonna work them in the way he knows how.
Exactly. And I like this from Zippy here. The joke is true. Nothing else matters. The joke, if the joke is funny, then it is what it is. Exactly. But wait, Tim's gonna go off. He's gonna go off. Go off, Queen. Queen.
Now that's true. Relative to the average millennial, the confidence of this white 24-year-old from California is insane.
Okay, then what's the issue? Why is this video a thing then, Tim? If you understand that, then we need not go further. This just happens to be a joke that you don't like. That's it. If people say, so if this was a black dude, would the comedian act the same way? No, because that would not.
He would take it a different way. Like he'd probably bring up something about, oh, is that like what you is that like an underground business for you? And like Tim, he would take it a different way.
All right, let's do that. I'm gonna do. Would you consider yourself a fan of stand-up? Because that will because if you know if you're not, then it makes sense why you would take a position like that. So let's just see how did it go from 1 vote to 0 votes? Anyway, yeah. So yeah, exactly, 100%. Zippy said someone never told Tim. Someone told Tim never go full. Oh, someone never told him to never go full retard. And yes, I go full retard a lot, but I have voices in my head. Yeah, what's his excuse, right? Yeah, exactly. We know. CD said that's at the I don't think this is the Comedy Store. Most critically acclaimed room in California with the whole room laughing. I'm sure it's not funny. I don't know. That background, this background is definitely not the Comedy Store, but this looks like the brick does.
So, yeah, it's San Diego, so
well, fucking Comedy Stores in LA.
Yeah, so it's not the Comedy Store.
Yeah. Opus said, I've never watched a whole stand-up bit, but I still get the joke. All right. Yeah, I mean, clearly. So maybe it doesn't have to be with whether you're a comedy fan or not. Maybe it just has to do with whether you understand what we're doing. Like again, even if the 24-year-old did start the company, then it's still funny that we all had the same assumption when he said, well, my dad, and also that he said real estate, and then he said, I have a development firm. To think that wouldn't like imply that you started the firm. I have a firm. That's what that means in colloquial language. You would just say, I work for my dad's firm. Or like you said, me and my dad started a firm where we flip houses. Something like that.
I think people that are like getting this joke, like are taking it like personally, like it's like super personally. Like it's a comedy. Like the dude in the crowd that got the joke made fun of him is probably not taking it as seriously as.
What up, Trey? Welcome to the party.
My guys, what's up? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
This is the Discord.
Good. Hey man, had to come celebrate with my boy as the longest tenured member outside of indie films.
Yep,
right.
Shout out.
I'm definitely second, I think.
Nope.
What?
No, because I know Opus, at least Opus, Trey, and Indie Film. There's definitely others, and splits. Definitely were here before I was the Indie Jesus. Chester, shout out to Chester. Speaking of OGs in the building, welcome to the party. So can't wait for Ricky Gervais Armageddon on Christmas Day. That'll be off. It's Trolley. I think that means funny in Australian. I didn't know he was coming out with a new special. That's awesome. But speaking of OGs, Chester, you have definitely been here for a long time.
Chester.
So how you doing, Trey? Did you see this joke thing?
Yeah, I've been watching it. I was driving, so I wanted to be responsible.
Fair. So where do you fall on it? You more with us, or you more with Tim that it's not fair?
Definitely with y'all, honestly. I mean, I'm not. I really don't like Tim Pool. I personally don't.
Fair enough.
But I don't even know where the vitriol comes from, because it was like it's a joke for one, and two, like it's not that deep.
Exactly. That's like what I'm taking saying. Like, this is a time when, like, bro, it's a joke. Like, this works. This works. Thank you so much, Chester. Very much appreciated. Oh, yeah. That's definitely YouTube, because I have no filters on my shit. So I don't even know how to. Maybe I should learn how to do that. CT said Tim Dillon has a running joke about him doing fake business, where he calls a real estate agent and pretends to buy properties. This is definitely on brand for his comedy. There you go. There you go. Context said there's been so many meaner takes in crowd work. I can see getting upset if Tim Dillon just laid into the guy, but the joke was pretty tame. Yeah, exactly. And Unwanted Post says the same thing. Well, let's see if he redeems himself. And
also, just real quick.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to, they wasn't offended.
Exactly. Everybody there's having a good time. The dude, he's not on social media like, well, Tim Dillon said this, and I really do own a company.
And he ain't even heckling. He's like, hey, no, he's not freaking trying to explain his life story to the whole crowd. Like, you go to these shows to hear the comedian, and sometimes you're lucky enough to do crowd work, and sometimes you're the joke, or sometimes you get to throw in on the joke.
Exactly.
And it's like, just don't fuck it up.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that, Opus, but that's it. It takes another another type to be out there. When I said, no, Trey, I have to be offended on your behalf. So apparently everybody is offended now. Shout out to I'm gonna call you Corb because I don't know how to pronounce that, but welcome to the party.
Muy bien, amigo.
Good to see you over on Twitch. Thank you for coming through. We are just hanging out. It's my birthday. I just turned 34, and all I wanted to do was hang out with y'all. So let's see how uppity this man really gonna be.
Now that's true. Relative to the average millennial, the confidence of this white 24-year-old from California is insane. And it apparently drove
again, then we all agree here.
Him to start his own real estate development firm. Now, Tim Dillon goes on to say that, and again, I'm sorry, like, you're allowed to laugh. You're allowed to.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sir Tim, for allowing me to laugh.
To find whatever you want to find funny. I don't find that whole portion funny.
Thank you, Lord Tim.
Yep.
It grosses me out about millennials. Okay, we don't all have to agree on what's funny. I get these people being like, Tim has no sense of humor. Dude.
No, you really don't, bro.
Now I imagine like Ian with like the laugh sign. Like if they're at like a live event in the back, like pulling up the laugh sign, like crowd laugh. Sam said a joke to laugh at.
Corb says if you're 34, you got some goddamn good genetics. Thank you very much, and happy birthday. Very much appreciated. I will definitely tell my parents that you said so. They will appreciate it. Just what's the video about you looking pussies? What? Is that aimed at me, or is that aimed at Zippy? Or are you calling me Zippy? What? Again, guys, the link to come on up is pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to come hang out, feel free. CT said, I wonder how much of this is Tim Pool actually being upset or just being a slow news day and he needed to make some content. I mean, definitely if there was other shit going on, he would not cover this, but he wouldn't cover it just to cover. Like, there's enough that you could make a video out of anything. For him to go to this, I think it's a combination of both, but he definitely, this definitely hit him in a place where he's like, I don't know if I like that. But said, since when is confidence embellishing your work status? Confidence is confidence in a lie, basically. That is the exact opposite of confidence in yourself. Exactly. Hence the joke that we all understand, except for Tim. Yeah, no. Boom. All right, thank you, son. All right, that back in here.
And also, just real quick, I know we're like backtracking.
No, you good?
When you were talking about the There was like certain people, like millennials, was like they needed 500,000 to feel comfortable. A big part of me wanted to say they confused that with luxury.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what is like being comfortable is a very vague word for that. And it's just like, well, how are you interpreting comfortable? Like a comfortable life, typically, again, when you're just chatting casually and you say a comfortable life, usually that means a little bit more than, you know, like upper middle class type lifestyle. Yeah, and he doesn't get the joke either, but everybody else. Yeah, I just think that's a really bad question. That's purposely meant to confuse people and have the results all over the place. Corb says amenities changed a lot these last few years. Yeah, well, the government is don't get me going on the government. The amenities, right? Jester said Jesus died when he was 33. What kind of Jesus are you living this long? The Indian Jesus. Hey, to resurrect the second coming of common sense.
Funny, calm down. The next portion is pretty funny. He basically goes on to say the kid was accused of rape, and so the dad was like hiring lawyers, and then it was like, we're bringing you home, and you only got one more chance, or we're cutting you off. You're going to work for my real estate development firm. Okay, that's pretty funny. Whatever.
Wait, you said okay?
How's that?
Wait a minute. Wait a
How's
minute.
that funny? How's that?
Wait a minute.
So you don't find the actual premise of the joke funny, but the joke about the premise of the joke is funny.
What?
I don't. What?
So he raped somebody and you're going to come work for my law firm was funny. But oh shit.
And I mean, I agree. That is funny. That you know, an upper class white person is going through all this shit. Like, all right, now you're really going to be punished. You have to work for me and make a lot of money and like all that stuff. But like, I don't know. This is, I mean, honestly, one of the worst takes I've seen from Tim recently at all.
The last one I didn't like was the Mario movie. So this is probably the next. Yeah.
I didn't see the Mario movie.
That's good. That's Barbie movie.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I haven't seen. I was gonna say that we should do a Barbenheimer watch party night where we should watch Barbie and then Oppenheimer, like just straight through. CD said, if you haven't looked into Tim Dillon much, he's got some great episodes on his podcast about Epstein. He has some with Whitney Webb, who wrote multiple books about it, and his rants are gold. Facts. Yeah, I don't listen to his podcast, but whenever I see clips, it's definitely funny as shit. Considering 100,000 a year gets your bills paid, insurance, and probably 2 vacations a year where I live. That's pretty damn comfortable. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It depends what you're comfortable with. Like if you're not comfortable living in you could probably $100,000 in a lot of places with 1-bedroom house by yourself. But let's say you have a kid or something. Like is $100,000 like, and you want your wife to take care of the kids? Is $100,000 enough? Is that comfortable?
Right.
In the South, it is.
There you go.
It depends where in the South too. Like if you're in Tennessee or like if like you're in like freaking a main city in like the South.
No. I mean, I live in Dallas, and I can tell you 100,000 is more. 100,000 a year is more than enough.
Yeah, and that's in a major city.
Once all those Californians move in, and then you're not gonna be saying that.
Don't get me started. It's already started.
All right, he's about to say what really bums me out.
Development firm. Okay, that's pretty funny. Whatever. Here's what really bums me out about this.
What really bums you out?
A lot of people are going to try and make that argument that it's just a comedy show and they're all laughing and he's no. Listen. Here's my point.
But those things are true.
The premise of the joke initially is that a man. You're 24. You're a man. Man. It is unbelievable that he started his own real estate company.
But he didn't. But
I
he didn't.
I don't even see that as being the joke that Tim Dillon was trying to be like. I feel like the joke was
right
that's all you did. Like that's the joke is supposed to be like that's crazy. And Tim Dillon's saying like that's all. That's what the joke is. That's how Tim Dillon was saying it.
Yep.
Let me break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, please do.
This breaks my heart. Let's
put
give
it
you an
down.
extremely realistic and plausible scenario for this
What
24
does emigrate mean?
24
I know what it means, but why?
Or dude, at 24, you are solidified, fully grown, fully developed human being. Okay, you're not growing anymore. In fact,
I think I want to was right.
For the next several
I think
years,
he's
you're in a
salty.
cellular stasis,
When I was
and then
24?
aging begins. He is not growing up; he is a grown up.
This is right when I turned off the video.
Real estate development firm at 24. Well, there's the obvious that he may have literally just started it at 24.
No, like I said, Gav, I understand what the word means. I was questioning why you were bringing it out right now. Gonsex gotta pass out early. You have a good one, brother. Thank you for stopping by. CD said the joke is nepotism, that all successful kids got there because of their parents.
Bingo.
Yeah, like that's it. It's obviously not the case in all cases, but the fact that he was able to the fact that he was able to use that and assume that he didn't start the company and was right is funny. That's it.
I was just learning how to pay bills on time.
Oh, Corb is just telling us to get the fuck out. Where should we go?
Where,
I mean,
where's
you
better?
exactly.
Where's
That's
better?
exactly what I was gonna go. The U.S. is definitely fucked right now, but everywhere else, you don't have the. There was who was it? I forget who it was. We were talking about if you had to live in another country. Somebody said Italy. Somebody
They just had a bunch of riots.
That's true.
Not
Somebody was
France,
talking about
not in Irish country. You ain't going there either.
Of course, my parents were from California and emigrated to Finland. Yeah. See, Opus said Italy. So, how do they like Finland? I mean, fuck, I'll take a trip out there.
Corb, you named like the one right place because you can own guns in Finland. You named the one right.
Talk about moving the goalpost.
You named
talk about moving the goalpost.
I wouldn't say he's not 100% right because Finland, there's not a lot of jobs. There's not a lot of jobs there that are good, like for immigrants.
Yeah, he got
you can own guns in Finland, so I would say.
Can you? All right, word up. There you go, Finland. Here I come. Wait.
You're gonna be
What's
cold,
the weather
you
like?
dummy.
There you go.
There
There you go. What is the weather like? I need warm weather. That is a must. CT says the scary thing: the get out of the country method doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because there's nowhere to go. That's good, or that you can't get out. I'm pretty sure you can get out if you want to. Corb said Scandinavia and the Benelux. Never heard of it. Benelux. What does it look like? The Benelux. I assume.
Yeah, I honestly think Tim took this joke personal though.
Yep. Yeah, I think Unwanted Foe was right on the. Excuse me. The fact that he took it to.
I'm not gonna move to Belgium or the Netherlands.
Well, I would definitely travel there. I think
going back to the motherland.
The electronic music scene in Belgium and the Netherlands is amazing. I would love that, but
I don't think I would never leave America for longer than a week.
Well, I mean, I would definitely like fucking go on it.
I would go to Mexico or Canada for like a little bit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they have like 14-day cruises. Like, yeah.
Well, I went to Ethiopia for like a month. It was pretty cool.
Nice. I've always wanted to see because like on TV and in the media, whenever they show anything about Africa, first they just show it's just like Africa. There's not like different countries. It's just Africa. I mean, it's always some like tribal dude with a walking stick and like there's civilizations and established things there. Not everywhere, but
almost like so when they show like the tribes, that's like them showing like rednecks in the country.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Literally what it is.
Corm said 20% tax rates, yet all public transportation, healthcare, and all that shit is free.
But I saw this YouTube short I wanted to send you.
Talking about Italy here,
and it was a comment that I wanted to screenshot and send to you. And the comment said it was a video about like it was comparing a game to like communism and like the healthcare system, like public healthcare system. And someone commented, Our European free healthcare system is perfect, besides the funding.
That's some leftist thinking right there.
That's crazy.
It's like it's perfect except for the parts that are not perfect.
Like we need more money. It's like, okay, so what are we gonna do? We give it more money. How?
Yeah.
We make money more expensive, so the healthcare is more expensive.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. CT taxes are the shitty part about moving out of the country. To maintain a U.S. passport, you still owe federal taxes, I think. Not positive how it works, but it can be bad for people that work out of the country. If I was going to live outside the country, it would be something that I would be aware that I'm giving up certain rights that I don't want to, and just that there's other benefits. So like if I was going to work remote, like, if I was going to be doing this full time, I could stream from anywhere. So, if I was to go like maybe somewhere in South America where my money's going to go a lot further, or maybe somewhere in Asia where like I could just be in the taller percentile,
Steve-o it, bro. Get a mobile podcast studio. Got Morty with you. You just Steve-o it, bro.
There you go. And the show is we ride around the whole world. There's a bus on each continent, and I just have a private plane. We go from this continent to that continent, drive around, do shows. There we go. That is a plan.
When we get big, we do boats. And we start doing boat podcasts.
Baller.
So that would almost be like a athlete's tax, or like the athlete's tax, or like if you play like professional basketball or football, whatever state that you play the game in, you have to pay the taxes on that state.
Yeah, I think that there's something with that with UFC fighters as well. Like depending on the state laws, depending on where you're fighting, you pay more or less taxes. Yeah, any film said the U.S. healthcare is by far the best. You can complain about cost, but the quality of the healthcare is miles above the rest of the world. I agree, but the degree of that cost is something that is relevant. Like it doesn't matter if you're getting, like, if you think about anything else, any other good or service, that it being the best but being 10 times too expensive is still not okay.
They charged me $52,000 for my brain surgery.
Damn.
And with insurance, with my job insurance, I only got to pay $25,000, but still,
that's a lot.
That's crazy. And I mean, yeah. So that you definitely have to factor that in, because I would for most things you could get away with the third tier treatment as long as you can get it. If the first tier treatment isn't available, then you'll be good with the third tier treatment. But you can only get the first tier treatment if you can afford it, and you don't have access, then you die.
Lutch, did you hear that in Europe they're passing a bill now where you cannot discriminate against people's size, like height or weight. So like if someone like wants to like, oh, I want to work at this job, it's like, okay, well you have to climb this ladder like 100 times a day, and they're like a 400-pound person and they don't get their job done. Like, well, you're not fast enough. Would you be? And they're like, well, you call me fat, so then you can't fire them because they can't get their job done. So what you need to do, Lutch, is move to Europe and then get a job. Be lazy there. Be like, are you firing me because I'm too short? Because I'm short, bro.
I mean, that's pretty much how that's going here. Did any of you guys know what Radboud University is? I think I'm having a boomer moment here. But okay, all right. If a Zoomer don't get it, then I'm not that old. All right.
I'm not a meme lord anymore, so I don't know.
All right, let's see. I'm still waiting for Tim to cook. He said he's going to cook. Let's cook.
I'm at 24. Well, there's the obvious that he may have literally just started it at 24. And he says you started at 24. Dude may have started at 22. Now I know there are many people who are like that. You can't do it. It's like
at 16, Tim.
I'm going to slow you down right there.
12.
Let's try this.
1 year old. He can start it when he's one, dude.
And the kid starts work very young. And
He's
then
literally going there. He's literally going there, bro.
he's 16, he's he upgrades from like mailroom help where he's only getting $100 a week, if that.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a meme. It was the best hospital in the world. Okay, wait. So let's go back to that. Wait. Anyone was talking about healthcare? Oh, I get it. All right. It took me a minute. And it's always funnier when you got to explain it. But thank you. I got it. All right.
Working for the family, about maybe $50. When I worked for my family business, which was short-lived, went bankrupt, didn't work out for us. But I'd make something like $35 to $50 a week, and I'd work 2 days, and it was almost all tips. I think it was only tips. And it was a family business. We all worked for the family business, and I bought my own stuff. Now that was when I was 9. All right, 9 to 11-ish.
He literally went there.
Mm-hmm. The dude, he has to bring this up at least once a month. He has to bring up that he worked in his parents' coffee shop when he was 5 years old, doing everything. He was working the counter, doing the math in his head. He was Albert Einstein, bro.
Yep. So we're gonna, that I think we get the point there. Any closing thoughts on the Tim Dillon versus Tim Pool beef that's going on?
I personally think it's a little pander job, but I can't put my finger on who he's pandering to.
I think I don't know if it's pandering, because I think Opus is a little bit more on point, that Tim knows that he can put out a video about anything and it will get however many views. And the fact that he saw this as an opportunity to connect this to, real life, that he saw, I think actually let's see, what do the comments say? Let's see what the comments say. Where are we? It's sadly comical that a 20-year-old can't have 200,000 in student debt, but another 20-year-old can't get a 20K loan okay. The confidence of black men, they will never get arrested during a riot is what? I'm a millennial, opened a business at age 30 with no experience and little confidence. Never thought I'd have such a rewarding career. Jeez, I get told I'm evil for being a straight white Christian man, and now I'm getting told I'm broken for being a millennial. 24 is not a millennial. The absolute wild thing about the joke is change one word, just one. Don't change anything else in the joke. Just change the word white to black, and the joke instantly becomes hate speech. I mean, like this is if it's pandering, it's to the lowest level of like, oh, there's liberal bad. Like if that's what it is, that's what it is. But I think Opus is right here, and it's really just about, it's a slow news day. He saw this, he got triggered because he was a young guy starting his own thing, and Tim Dillon is making fun of that notion that despite the fact that it obviously can be done, that most 24-year-olds are not going to do that. Then that's the joke. That's it. And he's just taking it too much. I'm gonna try this. Is it Elo Corb? I gotta give them credit after they fixed my 85% nerve damage and right after a work accident. God damn. Shout out to Radbound.
Great they fixed it.
What were you saying, Trey?
I was saying it's great that they fixed that.
No, were you gonna say something before that?
Oh, I just always find it funny that like it could be something that has nothing to do with black people, and black people still catch like a random stray bullet.
Yeah.
Well, that's the pandering though. Is that if there is the aspect of pandering, it's that he said white, so now I can make this a racial thing about how everything is it's okay to make fun of white people and not make fun of black people. If that, yeah, right. Even a comment like, because nobody who has our opinion paid any attention to that more than I'm giving it right now. F to me all around this one. Yep. Yeah. I mean, take the L, bro. Take the L. If I were Tim Dillon, Opus said, and I saw this segment, I would 100% make a video dunking on Tim Pool. I was just thinking of that and hoping that we will get this video. I don't know. But if I was Dillon, I would. Right? Like, why wouldn't he? Especially like, yeah, like if he not doing like a whole video, but just like a segment of the podcast. CT said, meanwhile, nobody talks about how Jeremy from the Quartering started selling coffee first, and Timcast just copied his idea. I mean, everybody sells.
Bad take.
Yeah, everybody sells coffee on.
Like, also, is like, are you gonna be like, oh, Germany is now the only one that can sell coffee in the right wing conservative like wing? Like, come on, like anyone can sell coffee. Like, it was people were doing it before Germany was. Like, content creators were taking like, if you're thinking about like what Jeremy and like what Tim do, it's exactly what, like, you don't know who Pokimane is, but
Yeah.
like, do you know who I'm talking about, Trey?
Yeah, I know Pokemon.
Yeah,
she just like
cookies. Yeah, she started a cookie company, and it made and that's
Selling
exactly
for
they're doing the same
$28.
exact thing. Yeah, but yeah, she's like like Tim's like saying it's like coffee. Like, if he's being honest that it's freshly packed, like freshly sourced, and like packed, like, and he's not lying about that. That's fine. Like, you can sell your coffee if you're not lying about it. Thing is, Pokey's acting like this is the healthiest cookie out there, and it's not. Like, she totally just didn't rip off, like, buy a company that was in Costco and just repackage the brand.
I 1000% just thought about buying some Folgers and stripping it completely down and just slapping Freedom on it.
Yo, that would work. That would work.
What do you think Freedom beer is? Like, it's literally, they probably just bought whatever Bud Light and just recan that be.
Why not? Why not? Why not? So the you know, again, I think that, you know, it's just a fucking stupid joke that he's getting a little too uppity about. But we were talking about you know, living abroad in different areas. Corey was talking about Finland, and we have somebody else here who emigrated to America. Somebody that a lot of you will know and love. Yeah, boy, Jorge Masvidal. If you're not familiar, check it out.
If you are in a man's body, you need to compete against men. You can't crush a little girl's dream of becoming an Olympian because you suck at the men's sport, and now you found the loophole that allows you to do that.
Loser!
My name is Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, and this is my story.
I definitely
Did any of you know that this was out?
No,
Jorge Masvidal on PragerU.
I don't watch PragerU.
I don't watch PragerU at all.
This is yeah, so this is just from today. So this is actually new. I mean, I'm subscribed to them. I don't watch too much of their stuff because it's a lot of like entry level stuff, but I figured, hey, we got politics and a UFC crossover. Let's do it.
I'm not the biggest Masvidal fan because, you know, I love Ben Askren, but you know,
fair.
After I seen Kamara rearrange his jaw, I became a fan.
Yup. Yeah, I mean, Prager occasionally does have a good take, but remember when, you know, Rationality Rules broke down his whole masterclass, and for whatever reason, the Jewish Prager made his whole thing about the Bible is this, and the Bible says that, and the Bible is this, and you're a bad person if you don't believe in the Bible. Like, come on, man. So shout out, yeah, the drippy drip. Indy's in on it too.
Believe that women should only compete against biological women. It's just not right, you know. How does the guy that never couldn't even get a medal, he wasn't even talked about, goes to the women's section and breaks all the records? Why? Because it's not the same. You just can't compare. It's apples and oranges. If you're in a man's body, you need to compete against men, and biological women need to only compete against biological women. It's not fair for us to take their shine away.
He's scared a woman's gonna come up and kick his ass. That's all it is, bro.
What do you say?
He's only scared a woman's gonna come up, kick his ass. That's all he's scared about, bro. That's what the woke people are gonna say.
Is that Play-Doh on his shoulder? That's pretty dope. Yeah, this is the newer style. When the like, what's the very busy patterns?
I think it's like Play-Doh. I see like some Mayan ones. I think I see some like Egyptian. Like, I think it's like a bunch of head sculptures from different time periods.
Yeah,
or different areas.
I'm a former UFC fighter, currently still holding the record for the fastest knockout in the world, original BMF champion, proud patriot, God-fearing man above everything, and a proud father. My dad is from Cuba.
Gorb, you a savage.
And my mother's from Peru. They met in Miami, Florida, and I was born in Miami and practically raised in Miami. My dad went to jail. He got incarcerated when I was just 4 years old. My mom had a full-time job, and then she had a part-time job.
Oh, I didn't even notice the matching shorts.
Yeah, dude.
4 years old. My mom had a full-time job, and then she had
drippy. Like, I don't think I could ever pull that off. There's no way I could. No.
You need
Nope.
to gain about 50 pounds of muscle, and then you can pull it off.
You gotta get some more goddamn confidence in yourself, sir.
Nah, it's just about knowing your style. Like it just that ain't me. That ain't me.
If you did some squats, I think you can do it.
Lutch is a skinny jean t-shirt kind of guy.
I mean,
if you're out on the town,
I don't know. I like solid colors. So this is the opposite of the way that I like. If I'm dressing up, I want a nice, clean, whatever color. That's the shirt. It's just that maybe a checker pattern or something, but just simple, classic, timeless.
At a part-time job, she was an instructor at Bally Total Fitness, and she'd teach like the cardio classes. She was always in good shape. And then she'd get home after a full-time job. She'd make these bead necklaces, to send them off to wherever to make a couple dollars extra. Me and my mother moved around a lot, and then I ended up living in Peru for like 4 years, very spontaneous overnight. I remember when I was living in Peru, there was, I don't know how to say it in English, Sendero Luminoso was a terrorist group in Peru. They would put bombs in public places.
God damn.
So a lot of the times we didn't have power for like 3 weeks because they bombed the near power plant or something.
Jesus.
There was no water because they blew up like a water treatment facility. So it was like interesting times to live over there. So when I was coming to America, I was very much like, this is the land of opportunity. If there's one thing I know is that America is a place to be at,
Hell
I was
yeah.
born with some special qualities. I had insane ADHD and I could never sit this long with anybody or anything. But on Saturdays, I used to play these Kung Fu marathons, last like 5 hours. They would just show Kung Fu movies. My dad said,
and Corbin is saying the CIA might have done something there in 2022, which caused a civil war.
Bingo.
Definitely. I mean, the CIA, the FBI, all of the above. All of the above. Brazil has cops that use old World War II machine
oh
guns.
yeah, I saw that. They've got some like Burin guns, like with the clips that go up the top. I saw that. Yeah, I saw the Brazilian police force fighting gangsters with that stuff.
Yeah, damn. And he says, yeah, but Peru has cheaper healthcare. We get it.
Says this was the only thing in the world that will get me to sit still. So my dad noticed that inclination towards combat since young. If you ask him, by the age of like 4 years old, I had been kicked out of like 6 or 7 daycares. I'd spend all day Saturday watching the Kung Fu movies. Come Monday, I was reenacting those moves on the kids, and that led to a lot of trouble. On my birthday, November 12th, the UFC has their first show. I didn't discover it till I was like 11, 12 years old. I didn't care about nothing else. Like, I was the biggest nerd you ever seen. I knew every champion. When they won a belt, lost a belt, and I loved it. I was like, man, this is what I'm meant to do, fight, By the time I was 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, I mean, we see, and I think he brings it up specifically. He's talking about where has socialism or communism or any of these things ever worked and done well? And it's again, it's an entry-level question, but I don't have a good answer,
I already knew I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, and this is how I'm going to make my way out. I started competing around 12, 13 years old. By the time I was 18, I was a professional. There was many times where I didn't have like let's say a house or a home, because in fighting, there's no money. You're fighting for $200-300 a fight. Sometimes promoters would write you checks
every day. I'm
that would bounce. So I'm getting evicted. It always worked out though, because every time I got kicked out, at least I still had a car. That means that was my house on wheels, Every night that I would lay down in that car and look up with my windows down because the AC was broken in Miami. So this is like a hot box. I'm just losing weight all day long. So just knowing that no matter how much this sucks, I'm going to get out of here and it's going to get way better.
Yeah, CT is talking about the Fallon Fox story, and shout out to Ashley Evans Smith being the one to take the fight. And now you got beat by a girl.
Loser.
Like, I mean, poetry.
I didn't become famous, but I was kind of like a YouTube sensation for some time. Kimball Slice for his fights, his backyard fights.
Original
20 million views.
YouTube stuff.
I'm not even exaggerating. It was insane. Everybody knew this guy. It just so happened we were at the same gym, so he invited me. I was a young up-and-coming guy. He's like, hey, you want to come fight in our backyard? And I was like, for a fact, let's do it.
For a fact, let's do it. And so if you have not seen, this is a young Jorge Masvidal walking in to fight our boy Kimbo Slice.
I fought in his backyard. They didn't release the video for like a year, and then I remember seeing it was like 5,000 views, 50,000 views. 2-3 weeks passed by and it was like over 1 million views. And I was like, holy smokes, this is 20 something years ago on YouTube.
Yeah, this is like 2005. Like, there ain't nothing getting 1 million views on YouTube. Like, people didn't use YouTube like that. There was no shows on YouTube. It was just, hey, did you see the one where the cat does this? Like, that's the era that we're talking about.
Yeah, Piano Cat.
Yeah, that's the era that we're talking about.
So I knew it was an awesome thing, and hopefully it would open up doors for me in my sport of fighting. So it actually did the opposite. Promoters didn't want to get me. They didn't want to book me for their pro fights because they thought I was like a thug, or they thought that I was just a street fighter. So it took some time to break that stereotype down. And
that's crazy. So like having to, having all this exposure, but not being able to capitalize on it because of the fact that because of what it comes with. That's a punch in the dick.
Getting these like bigger promoters to book me for their fights and fight shows. I fought all over the world before I went to UFC. I went to Japan. I went to Russia. I fought in Costa Rica. I fought in other parts of South America.
Costa Rica. That is a place that I would live. For sure. For sure. Of course, back then, people were throwing jellyfishes on their backs. Zabita Strange said, do not even think YouTube managed views back then. Anytime you reloaded the page, it counted. That or when you reopen the browser. Yep, the good old days. The good old days.
That's how a lot of YouTubers got big, was just F5 on their videos.
Bro, if I had the opportunity, because at first I was doing that, and I still, I'll still put the like on my own video when I first upload it. Oh, that doesn't fit. Don't you hate when the hood is too small? These should be able to fit inside my hood. This is a particularly small hood. Not working. But this is my my original. Before I was the Indian Jesus, I was the All Really podcast. And it says, believe nothing except that anything is possible. And then up the arm, got the ARP. Got All Really. On the hoods here, you got wait, which one am I going? This way? Oh shit. I'm muted. We got boom, boom, boom. And we got boom, boom, boom. Gonna do a huge. I know, right? I know. It's so annoying. So annoying. But we are definitely going to be nice. Doing exactly on Montefo. I just talked to my merch guy today, and we are setting up something big to make sure that you guys are drippy for Christmas. So keep an eye out. Keep an eye out.
Dude. Andrew Schultz original right here.
Gang.
The OG, yes.
America, and I ended up in this show called Strike Force. It was a relatively big show.
Strike Force, bro.
And UFC was doing their thing, and at some point they purchased them and they merged us together. So now by default I became part of the UFC roster, and I started my UFC
mid-journey career. Sorry, I just had to put it in there.
Career there. I lasted 10 years. I broke the world record in 5 seconds for the fastest knockout ever. Fighting for me was very spiritual, very emotional, very physical, very mental. Every fight to me means so much. My dad escaped Cuba when he was 15 years old. Him and his best friend and his best friend's uncle, they found tire tractors and they turned them into rafts and they took off. 7 days later, they landed in the Bahamas, and from the Bahamas, they got extradited to Miami, Florida. My aunt escaped in between Guantanamo Bay and in Cuba. There's a strip of land, and that strip of land has mines, and my aunt crossed it and lost her left breast, and her brother had a lot of shrapnel. They both survived and lived. These are direct family members of mine. So I'm hearing these atrocities. But as I start to get a little bit older and a little bit older, this question comes to me more and more often. Why? Why did you leave? What was so bad over there?
Bam. Shout out to Dietrich in the building. Welcome to the party. Thank you so much. Enjoy the Jello grams. Keep spitting the truth and not your dentures. Much love. Thank you very much. Appreciated. We also got Per Usual in the building. Welcome to my birthday party. What is good at work? Yo, whoever's working with Per Usual, what is good? Oh, the Indian Jesus. Cora says, whenever someone views fighting as spiritualistic, it depends. Like with him, because he legit did this for mad long, and before it was a thing, like I'll give him a pass. I'll give him a pass. But you know.
My aunt's like, if I stay there, I gotta listen to these people tell me every day what to do, what to eat, and on top of that, there's no food. I chose freedom, so I didn't care if I died. I didn't care if a man went off. Obviously,
I didn't care if I died. Hey, shout out to Unwanted Foe taking back this the sponsorship spot, I think. And a treat for Morty said, feed that pup. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will. We got 5 and 2. Yes, sir. That makes you a new sponsor of the stream. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very, very, very much appreciated.
I didn't want one to go off, but I was going for my freedom. A lot of teachers are indoctrinated already. If they're teaching socialism and communism, I just want them to show me where did it work out, you know, because it hasn't throughout history. Some people are so brainwashed, it's nuts, you know, but they get them in college and they indoctrinate their brains, and it's always the same playbook: divide and conquer. If the Spanish guy to hate the white guy and then separate everybody, and the government goes in there and starts doing all this craziness, you know. I'm American, like, first, and I love, and my parents literally sacrificed on both ends to get to this country. So first,
yep. I mean, I you know, my parents certainly didn't go through, you know, the horrors that that his parents did, but they certainly fought to get here and to be in a place that when I would be born into a good position. And so, you know, for a long time, because there was a lot of people who I grew up with that didn't have the same benefits that I did in life. And I felt like bad about it. And, you know, eventually, you know, shout out to my college girlfriend. It was actually really her. I remember specifically one night we were just, you know, up sitting and talking in the dorms, and I was talking about this. And she was like, yeah, you don't, like, this is nothing, you did nothing wrong here. All you have to do is make sure that you take advantage of the fact that you are in a good position. Not take advantage of my dad, but take advantage of the fact that I'm in a good position, because not everybody is going to be as lucky. And so, you know, that's how I've learned to look at it. So I mean, certainly, you know, if you Morty, you can't come on this side. No, over here, come. Oh, I know that's what you want. Come here. Disruptions. I'm trying to get deep, bro. All right, whatever. Where were we?
first, and I love, and my parents literally sacrificed on both ends to get to this country. So first and foremost, I am American, I'm Latin, and I feel very proud to be Latin, but I respect this country. And I think as a patriot, the first thing you have to do is have your freedom of speech and use that. You know, our founding fathers, when they escaped tyranny from England, come up with this insane literature and documentation that sets us free and lets us be the greatest thriving economy. And it's a system that...
Well, I mean, you know, I mean, talking about just like that. Come on.
Maybe it's not perfect, because I don't think nothing's perfect, but it's as close as we have to freedom, to actual freedom. You know, I've been all over the world. I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Beautiful thoughts, gentlemen.
Imagine the UFC without freedom of speech.
Wouldn't be quite as fun. Now,
no. It would get no, like, all of the pool. I'd say 60 to 70% of the pool from UFC is the crap talk, is the talking crap, talking shit, getting each other's face at the press events, you know, throwing some bottles, you know, some monster cans maybe if you're a Diaz, but that's like what gets it all. Like that's what gets all the attention.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that this is it is a real person. Like, this isn't a WWE character. Like, this is him. This is who this is. You know, I think really kind of you know, focuses it a little bit more. Amonte Foe said UFC without smack talk is like NBA without dunks. Exactly. There's other aspects that we show up for. And I would say maybe not even just the smack talk specifically, but I would say more the story of the fighter and the story of the fight. So the story of the fight might be that this guy said this and that guy said that, but the story of the fight might also be that they don't even speak the same language, but this guy's doing this and everybody's cheering for this guy because unlike in team sports where you pick your team and that's your team, everybody likes, you know, different fighters. And so it's like if you, you know, if you see one guy that you like He's doing well. That's good. And then there's another guy that you like. And he's doing well. And that's good. But then they can meet. And now that's the story of the fight. So even if they speak different languages and there's zero shit talk, I think it's more about the stories. And that's what the dunks are for the NBA. And they were just I was just watching something talking about that they were saying they should lower the hoop in the WNBA to make it more interesting.
Funny enough, they actually had banned dunking for a while in the NBA.
They banned dunking in the NBA. When was this?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not a big NBA guy.
This was like, I want to say the 60s, 70s. It was when basketball first started to integrate, and they had motherfuckers like Wilt Chamberlain and like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and like they basically outlawed it, where like you couldn't dunk, and then eventually they got rid of the rule towards the end of the 70s.
Like, maybe we want to make money. Maybe that would be a good idea. So I'm not sure, Melton, you know what this means? The UFC needs more, what is arnis? I mean, definitely, Muay Thai is definitely obviously a big part of the craft, but arnis, I'm not familiar. Melton is going to look that up. So I want to, it's my birthday, so I would be remiss if I did not do a little bit of religious and philosophical poking. Do you have a definition before we go on?
It's a Philippines fighting style. It's a national martial art of Philippines. The three rough. It says it's a weapon-based fighting with sticks, knives, and bladed weapons.
Damn.
Okay.
I mean, okay. I would definitely want to see that. I mean, Muay Thai is definitely a big part of MMA, UFC. But yeah, I'd never heard of that. That would be. I think that would get a little bit unsustainable, but it would be cool to see. It would be cool to see. Even so, they should get rid of dribbling in the NBA to make it more interesting. Oh my god!
Take out double dribbling.
Fuck, it wouldn't.
Take out double dribbling.
If they took out double dribbling, it'd make it way more interesting.
I know it would. It'd make it way more interesting.
They can't help it. They can't help it. So Corbett's saying arnis is like Filipino Muay Thai, not a recreational sport, but a genuine fighting style taught to soldiers 3,000 years ago when people had spears and bows. Crazy. I don't know how sustainable that would be, but I would definitely be down to watch.
They have like professional like knife fighting where it's like two guys with like not like real, they're not real knives, but like but like you get a cut on like you hit somebody first with it's like what do they do with like the fake sword fighting where they wear the all white armor with the fencing? Yeah. That's like it's pretty much like fencing. Like it's just combat knives that they use.
I think at this point we're just bored and making up shit.
That's it. People are just, if you're not the best at one thing, people are trying to be the best at something.
Wait, 3,000 years ago? What do you mean making shit up? 3,000 years ago. No, speaking of old times, though, we're going back to Aristotle and Plato and all of that stuff. Like I said, I would be remiss if I didn't bring you some philosophy / religion on my birthday. This is our boy Cosmic Skeptic, and he just put out a tweet. What is your hottest philosophical take? I'm asking once again for your submissions, but this time anonymously, so you can tell me what you really think. Let's see what it got.
Philosophical takes, but this time submitted anonymously. And oh, how fun it was to read through them all. So I'll be ranking them again from minty to Indian spicy. And if any of you still have a problem
Indian
with
spicy,
spicy, then you can see me after class.
So I just want to point out, baller move there, number 1, for making minty the opposite of Indian spicy and for using Indian spicy. That's the way it should be done. That is how you use racial humor.
Existence of separate objects is merely nominal.
Okay. The existence of separate objects is merely nominal. Okay.
This is a fun place to start. There were a few others a bit like this, like identity isn't a property, but something we project onto things or people. Nothing in the world begins to exist, and simply mereological nihilism. And I'll tell you how these all connect.
All right. So let's stick with that. Let's stick with that real quick. The idea that identity, there's nothing inherent about any thing that has an identity. It's just the projection that we put onto it. So
I was going
there's
to ask what nominal means.
same, yeah. The just like the naming. So the again here, I'll say it again.
Isn't a property, but
Identity isn't a property, but something we project onto things or people. And so your identity is not something that actually exists in the real world. It's just something that we project and use as a tool. Breaking your brains. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, because I was really trying to think of like a well thought out answer to that, because I'm not understanding as far as we project it out to the world.
All right, so let's see him. Play this out.
I get like, so like it's like the idea of like time. Like time is something that we made up as humans. Like an animal doesn't go off time. Like it's not like they're like, oh, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to go. It's time to go sleep.
Time to the watering hole.
Yeah, exactly. That's something we made up, and that's something humans made up. That's what we project onto the world. Like,
let's see where he goes with it.
That's something we project onto things or people. Nothing in the world begins to exist, and simply mereological nihilism. And I'll tell you how these all connect. Mereology is the study of parts and the relationship between parts and wholes. Mereological nihilism is the denial of the existence of objects with proper parts. Okay,
hold on. I need to hear that again.
Of parts and the relationship between parts and wholes. Mereological nihilism is the denial of the existence of objects with proper parts. Okay, a bit of a mouthful. What the hell does that mean? Well, let's start with this one. Nothing in the world begins to exist. This is something that I've spoken about before. You may have seen a conversation I had with William Lane Craig a few years ago on the Kalam cosmological argument. One of the premises of that argument is everything which begins to exist has a cause. And I objected to this premise by saying, does anything ever really begin to exist in the sense?
All right. So now we have a question. Does anything truly begin to exist? Really quick though, let's give a shout out to Kelly Gray. What is good? Bro, you were in the room last night when I told you it's my birthday. The thing says it's my birthday. Glad you are here, brother. Glad you are here. And Corpse saying, ew, nihilism. Bro, nihilism is the most beautiful thing that you can see. I mean, in my opinion, besides absurdism. So this guy is definitely epistemological solid. No, nuh-uh. Yeah, chill. Let's let him play this out a little bit.
Sense that we need it to.
Well, this isn't this dude's take. This is a take from a guy.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
there you go. So we haven't even gotten his take yet.
Yeah.
This is just what other people are saying.
Yeah. You gotta remember what the point of the video is, guys. So you got to remember what the point of the video is. Like,
to exist in the sense that we need it to here. I mean, think about it. You might say that a car that exists now didn't exist 500 years ago. And that's kind of true. But all of the things that make up the car, that is the physical material itself, certainly did exist 500 years ago. Indeed, the only difference between the car not existing yesterday and the car existing today is that somebody took a bunch of pre-existing material and just sort of rearranged it, stuck it together, and put a name on it. So sure, there's a...
So let's use that. The idea that a car didn't exist 500 years ago. But if the parts existed, then it just existed in a different state. The metal for the cars and the electronics, the plastic or whatever for the bumpers, all of that stuff existed in a different form. What say you?
Okay. You want to go first, Trey, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So we'd have to, so 500 years ago, the car didn't exist. So the idea of the car existing the objects existing would not mean that the car existed, because just because the idea of the car is different than the objects to make the car. If those exist, if us perceiving things makes things exist in this thing we're talking about, then us knowing that iron exists and all these, even if the engine exists, if the car is not made and no one has the idea for the car and it's never made, that means that the car never existed.
Okay, fair. Any different take, Trey?
No, that was actually the same take I was thinking, because just because the material existed, like you could have made something completely different than a car with that same material.
So
that
then
doesn't.
that raises the question: at what point then does the car begin to exist?
When
that's a
someone
better
when
question.
someone has the idea of the car. So like when someone's like, I have the idea to put an engine into a vehicle, and then or not into a vehicle, like what is a
Chassis.
car? We have to get down to the
Frames
basic
or whatever.
definition of a
So
car.
you're saying
Yeah, like
the moment that you think of a thing, that's when it comes into existence?
for you as a person.
I would say
Well,
when
actually,
you
no.
think
Into
of
reality.
No.
But no.
Something either exists
when
or it doesn't exist.
So when it's made. So when it's made and it's actually a usable product.
Okay, and Chester agrees. All right, cool. So that's one little loop that we've closed. I like it. All right, let's move on. I gotta pee real quick, so this is just gonna play for a minute.
Car existing today is that somebody took a bunch of pre-existing material and just sort of rearranged it, stuck it together, and put a name on it. So sure, there's a sense in which the car began to exist today, but it didn't really begin to exist in terms of its material. The only thing that's really begun to exist is this idea of the car that we've slapped onto this rearrangement of pre-existing matter. That is, it's essentially nominal, that is, name only. But of course, if something doesn't begin to exist, then it doesn't exist. And so the only sense in which this car exists as a definitive, separable object is nominally. Hence this other submission, identity, that is what makes an object or a thing an object or a thing, isn't a property, but something that we project onto things or people. I mean, think of it this way. Suppose I've got a bunch of material just lying in front of me. Most of it's metal. And I take some of it and I rearrange it into a particular shape and I call it a car. And I take some other of it and I rearrange it into a different shape and call it a fork. These two objects haven't just sort of popped into existence. I've just taken stuff that already exists, rearranged it, and given it a label. But if the
was that you that said what?
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna jump in. So we have the idea of we have the idea of the fact that the things exist. I think we still agree though that just said my smarter cousin. I think we agree though that there is a beginning point to, like, despite the fact that the pieces of the car versus the pieces of the fork existed before. It's it's not merely the parts that make the whole. It's the collection of those parts that turns it into a whole. Yeah. All right. Cool.
The only thing that makes the car and the fork, since it's all just the arrangement of the same kind of stuff,
is the arrangement of that stuff.
Is the name that I give to it. That means there is no real difference between a fork and a car and this microphone and my hand or anything, any kind of object in the universe. Instead, what we have is one
the
big
name is different
stuff that we just sort of arrange in different ways, or maybe nature arranges it for us and our minds put a box around it and give it a label. This is mereological nihilism. The real problem.
Yeah, I'm not down with mereological nihilism. Gotta say.
Hearing this has only made me think that I just don't know shit about anything.
Yeah, well, and like Chester's saying, this is philosophy 101. This is the entry level stuff. And so when I talk about how religion prevents us from being able to study this type of stuff, this is exactly what I mean. That nobody has thought about the existence of non-existence and existing, and then nobody cares about that because, like, oh, God did it. Oh, Jesus did this. That's how this happened. This is here because of that. Like the at the end of the day, that's not it. It might be, but you certainly don't have the evidence to say so. Nihilism. Everything is made of atoms. The end. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, so you could also say that time is not linear. That all moments exist at all times. Therefore, all things that have ever or will exist have and always will exist. True. Very true. Yep. I don't know. I don't know what this one is. Deus es vult ire requiem.
That's a Latin. That's Latin.
How do we, you,
Deus
you gotta-
Vult. I know what
Harry
Deus
Potter
Vult is
spell.
like. Deus Vult is the what is that called? Where the guys with the red crosses on their armor. What is that called? Where they went into Israel?
What?
Or they went into no Israel.
Wait, are you talking about Hamas?
No, this is old. This is the what? Can't remember the name of it.
The Crusades.
Yes, the Crusades. Thank you, Trey,
Oh.
for being the brain cell here.
Oh, it's my fault that you didn't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, I'm
Okay.
talking
Oh,
about
no, my
I'm not
bad.
talking about you.
My bad. I
I'm not talking
apologize.
about you. I'm talking about him for being my brain cell for right now.
Anyway, any villains in
Might
the
have
Wright
pulled a
brothers
Kim
plane?
Pool.
Good.
Yeah. They invaded Constantinople. No, they didn't. Okay.
The Wright brothers plane did not have wheels, but it definitely had a combustion engine that was invented for horseless carriage. I don't know what the hell is going on. We're bringing some juice to your brains. Bringing some juice to your brains. It's not just about, what do you think about the next policy? Like Corey was saying, if God exists, he's an alien. God wills it, something. So that's why I think philosophy and theology are so similar. Almost a distinction without an agreed upon difference. Dogma, that is the difference. There is no dogma, or there can be, but there is no necessary dogma in philosophy, where there is necessary dogma in theology. Dogma. Dogmatic thinking. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the
The Crusades.
I'm pulling a zippy right now.
Just so when you talk about existence, you'll get to God at some point or another if you're thinking openly. Maybe, but the at some point or another, if you're thinking openly, but you'll get there much more quickly and unjustifiably if you're thinking very close-mindedly. God wants you to rest from anger. I don't know what that means, but God, okay. God wants you to rest from anger. All right, fair enough. All right, let's see.
Problem with this view is probably just how unintuitive it is. I mean, can we really say that there's no actual difference between this microphone and the chair that I'm sat on? There is literally no real distinction between those objects. The only distinction between them is mental. Maybe, maybe not. That's for you to decide. But as far as philosophical takes go, I think this is a relatively spicy one. Now, you can't condemn same-sex incest, bestiality, necrophilia with the consent of the family on utilitarian grounds.
Okay, you can't condemn same-sex incest, bestiality, or necrophilia with the consent of the family on utilitarian grounds.
Animals can't consent.
What does that even mean?
So it means that there's no there's no harm involved. So your melted mind, you are absolutely right on the bestiality thing. So if we take that out, so we can say there's nothing wrong with same-sex incest or necrophilia with the consent of the family, on the basis that it makes the world like utilitarian means that it makes things the utility of the world less.
Oh man.
So banking on the idea that if you have I guess I had to stop and think, but if it's heterosexual incest, then you can have you can have fucked up babies. If you if you are fucking a corpse and you don't have the consent of the family, then you're desecrating a corpse. So, and those are you were right on the bestiality part, but what say you? What say you? How do you condemn same-sex incest and necrophilia with the consent of the family on a utilitarian basis?
So sex, same sex in a family. So definitely with kids, if you have kids, that's definitely bad. Because there's
right. Well, that's why. So that again, let's go. It's same-sex incest, and then we'll take you knocked out the bestiality part because of consent, and necrophilia with the consent of the family.
So
basically, the response to this would be pointing out that the claim that there is no harm involved is incorrect. And so, where would the harm be?
So necrophilia. Oh yeah, where would the harm be? So with same-sex incest, it would be with if you have a baby, there's a definite chance of it having problems. And then necrophilia, like that can spread disease. Like,
but only to your.
no, there's a disease. I forget what it's called, but that like happened where that like caused a disease that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. There you go.
You need to.
Okay,
But,
and I'm on to post kind of on the same track that with the bestiality, animals can't consent. It said the dead would have to consent before dying.
Oh
I
wait,
agree
same
with you there.
sex. I'm missing. I didn't even notice.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah.
sex.
That's what was. Yeah,
So same sex.
And so again, unwanted foe doing the same thing. That
It's like
the genetic deformities are not likely to occur because it is same sex. Yeah,
like, I guess I can't really say there's because I don't really care if someone's gay. So like it's like
and we're just talking about utilitarian. We're not saying that you should do this. We're asking the specific question: who is being harmed?
Well,
when this is done,
it could be like there could be like a harm in like if it's like a dominance thing, like or like grooming.
Yeah.
With the same sex, like grooming with that could be definitely harm. I would say with same sex incest if it's like a grooming situation, but that just depends on the situation with that or like age. But
all right, let's see if he has let's see where he goes.
There is no harm involved. Yeah, this is
guys. Like, come on, really? You don't understand the point of what we're doing here is to obviously take extreme situations to understand what the principle is.
Yeah,
it's not about like what are you doing?
I know necrophilia is effing dead bodies. You can get diseases from effing dead bodies.
Fucking Jeffrey Dahmer.
I would if it was anything else, I would Google it, but I'm not Googling. Can you get disease?
Yeah, I'm not gonna Google that, but
we just gonna have to.
Algorithms are gonna go crazy.
But if anybody got a link, drop it in the Discord.
I'm not looking that up. Not on even on incognito.
Utilitarian grounds.
So remember, this is not what he is saying. This is what somebody else said to him.
There is no harm involved. Yeah, this is fine. I didn't want to put ads on this video anyway. This is one of those ones that sounds like a really bold and controversial claim, but what's actually being presented here is a conditional. We're saying, if utilitarianism is true, then there's no way to condemn these things. If the claim was just that you can't condemn these things, that would be pretty spicy, but it's not. And in fact, this is a relatively common objection to utilitarianism. We take things that a lot of...
No, it absolutely does. But the fact of the matter, saying that getting disease doesn't affect whether something is right or wrong on a utilitarian ground, it absolutely does. The fact, the point is that you can make yourself sick if you want to. So that's where I was going to go on that point. And the only retort then would be, well, then you could spread it to other people. But I still don't think that they're on a utilitarian basis. There's anything there. Income said I was with him on the whole start of the automobile and stuff. What the fuck? But again, this is like you guys under any film. You understand that I didn't write this comment, right? You understand that you wrote this comment, and I would have no way of knowing that you were going to say this, right?
Well, the dude that is reading this comments right now, these are not even his takes. He got these off Twitter.
That's what I'm saying.
Anonymous. Yeah, I don't think any film understands that for the video.
Yeah. So this is your again. It's rating your. Oh, we can't say rating your anonymous philosophy hot takes. So these are people who have said this stuff to him when he asked, "What is your spiciest philosophical take?" I feel like I've been doing a lot more explaining what we're doing lately.
I've understood.
Said, no, it doesn't. Utility is simply concerned with whether a thing serves a purpose or not whether there could be negative side effects. But that's in terms of utilitarianism with humans, harm is the factor. That's why the bottom line question is what harm is being done. There is no physical harm being done. And therefore, there is from a utilitarian perspective, there's nothing wrong with it. Egalitarianism on top. I'm down with that. Sorry, I'm just listening to guys. I mean, it's shocking, but that's why it's spicy. That's what we're doing. Spiciest takes.
And in fact, this is a relatively can't condemn these things. That would be pretty spicy, but it's not. And in fact, this is a relatively common objection to utilitarianism. We take things that a lot of people intuitively want to say are wrong and say that on utilitarian grounds, there's no way to say that they're wrong. And this is used as a means to show that utilitarianism can't be a correct account of what makes things right and wrong. So famously, people will say, well, if utilitarianism is true, then why can't I kill an innocent person, take his organs and donate them to 5 people who all need different organs to survive? That way, I'll be saving 5 people at the cost of 1 life. If we're going to be a utilitarian, isn't that the right thing to do? Now, of course, if somebody were to just say, I think that you should kill innocent people to give their organs to those who need them, that would be a pretty spicy take. But that's obviously not what's going on here. What's going on here is we're saying the obvious wrongness of this should tell us that there's something wrong with the ethical theory. That is a relatively straightforward and minty observation. Now, I don't know.
Ooh, loser. CT said humans are messed up. Once they make it anonymous, it takes 3 comments to get to bestiality and necrophilia. Obviously, he handpicked the craziest ones. Plutocratic, individualistic, theocracy. What about it?
My screen just went black.
Oh, we're frozen here. Oh, you're back.
The person who submitted this is a utilitarian. If they are, then maybe they're trying to say that these things are permissible. But the only thing that I know is written in this take is that you can't condemn these things as a utilitarian. Now, whether you think that's true or not is besides the point. Is this a spicy take? Given that this is a really common objection to utilitarianism, I can't say that it is one. Well, here's a relevant one. We are all morally obligated to kill ourselves and donate our organs.
Whoa! Whoa! That's a little bit different of a take. Trey, any thoughts? Any thoughts on we are all morally obligated to delete ourselves and donate our organs?
I wouldn't say necessarily kill ourselves, but I would kind of say that it wouldn't be. I wouldn't go as far as to say obligated with donating our organs.
Right.
But I definitely wouldn't die on the hill of we should kill ourselves and do it. But as someone who is an organ donor, at least listed, that I wouldn't say that that's the bad thing. I think that actually is kind of morally pretty good because it's helping someone who can continue life.
Yeah. So I mean, the obvious part is that you're harming yourself, and so there's no even if you're helping somebody else, then there's no there's it's just a wash. But I think the more realistic, grounded version of that is being an organ donor. There's really no reason that you shouldn't be an organ donor. Like I've heard people think that like they're actually going to do that, like they're going to kill you when when you're in the hospital because you're an organ donor. So, they got 3 people over here and they need a heart. So they're just going to, whatever. It's like, no, what? That's not at all how this works. Chester said, every moral theory needs to be tested with the extreme examples, though. Exactly. If they can't work on the extremes, then they aren't comprehensive enough.
Bingo.
That is why we need to go to extreme things like deleting ourselves or fucking animals and shit. That is why. Zibby says self-deletion, no. Donating organs, sure. Yeah. I think that one. Yeah, nah. Monetization. What's that? I don't remember the last time I had a mod. Oh, actually, the last monetized stream that I had was when I had Ian Crossland of Timcast IRL on. And then the time before that, when I had Peter Boghossian on the channel. If you have not seen those, please definitely go check those out. Corb, is it Elocorb or Ilocorb? Ilocorb? Sorry. Corb says in Finland you are bound to be an organ donor. I think on a very visceral freedom level, liberty level, I don't like that. But I do think that there is absolutely no reason. There is no reason that you should not be an organ donor. I don't like you know what I mean? I don't like that government saying that you have to, but I do agree that everybody should. Any of them said nobody's obligated to delete themselves and donate their organs. That is an insane thing to say. Now, if your child needs a kidney and you give them the kidney, that makes sense. Okay, great. But Oh, okay. So the idea is that we're trying to understand where we draw those lines. So how do you know that saying to end yourself and donate your organs is an insane thing to say, but giving a kidney to your child makes sense? By what mechanism are you coming to say that? That's what we're exploring here. Is getting the like Chester said. Every moral theory needs to be tested with the extreme examples. If they can't work on the extremes, then they aren't comprehensive. I just got it. Broccoli. I'm gonna call you Corb. I like Corb better. I figured out what his name means.
I was wondering.
So that black girl in Finland.
I didn't miss any philosophy.
No, we didn't dive back in.
My computer just like my screen.
Oh wait,
I could hear you, but my screen went black, and then I exited out, and then my computer just completely crashed.
Did you see the this claim? We are all morally obligated to end ourselves and donate our organs.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like even the idea of like you kill one innocent person to donate their organs, like Star Trek already did this. Like you kill one person, that person could have saved. You kill them to save 5. That person could grow up to save millions.
Good
like,
point.
The chances, like it's not worth that. Star Trek already did this, bro.
Been there, bro.
Yeah,
So
been there.
So maybe what we should do is, what do we think? What level? What spice level do we think the take is going to get? It goes from minty to I don't remember, but minty to not so spicy, spicy, and Indian spicy or something like that.
I would go with
not so
American
spicy. Not so spicy was necrophilia and same-sex incest and bestiality.
Minty, because the idea is that the reasons that we don't do those things are not because there's other reasons. There's very obvious reasons. You brought up the consent thing with the animals, but with the same-sex incest, it like there's just other reasons. It's not because somebody is being harmed directly. So CT has a good question. How far off are we from an organ donor giving their privates to a trans person? I genuinely would be surprised if it hasn't already happened, or if somebody hasn't already signed up.
It definitely probably already has. I can imagine a woman that wants to be a man and a man that wants to be a woman. Like, oh, let's change. Like,
let's swap.
Breast tissue swap.
You've heard of wife swap. Now it's dick swap.
That's like when trans couples date each other, or it's like a trans man dating a trans woman.
It's like, come on, man.
Like
what the fuck are you doing here? Like, this seems like dating with extra work. All right, let's see. What else we got here? Indie Film says individual freedom. If you don't want to be an organ donor, you don't have to be an organ donor. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yes. I wasn't aware when I was saying that I don't like that you should be mandated to be an organ donor, that you didn't have to be an organ donor. That was not the question. Again, why would anyone not want to be an organ donor? That's my
look at my license, bro. Organ donor.
If my ex's daughter needed a kidney, I would donate one without a thought. If some random person down the street needed a kidney, I would not donate a kidney. It's my body, my choice. Sure, it is. But what we are asking is, why are you making that choice? You absolutely have the right to make those choices. The question is, what is the difference? What is the difference? You have a relationship with your ex's daughter. You have you have experiences. You don't know the strain. There's all of these things, but you have to do the work of actually spelling it out in your mind before you can just claim, oh, this is correct, this is moral, this is immoral. You don't get to just say, and I know you're being facetious, but this is why this is not an abortion argument. My body, my choice. That's not what we're doing here.
Let's be honest here, though. Who would want Indie Film's liver or kidneys?
Fair.
Those whiskey soaked kidneys. Hell no.
Oh, hell no. Chester said the morality of organ donation is a social morality. It may be better for society for everyone who has died to be harvested. However, the morality that rests on the people who are still alive. Well said. Yeah. Corb said that the organ thing is so fucked where I live. Once you turn 18, you get an envelope from the government. And what does it say?
Yeah.
He just says that and fucking
It just
3
says,
minutes, 2
"Gotcha,
minutes
bitch."
ago,
And
and
you're
nothing
saying,
else.
and you're saying, okay, Finland's now off the map.
Yep.
So bye bye.
No more Finland.
The goalpost moved again.
It just says, "Gotcha, bitch."
Yep, and Chester's right here. The fact that we respect our dead is a huge issue that moral constructionists can't overcome. They're like, it's a even though we know if you're dead, it doesn't matter what happens to you. It matters to the people who love you. I've always said like you know, you could fucking throw me in the river for all I give a fuck. I'm gonna be dead. Like, do whatever you want. I was that some religions believe the body must remain intact. There is really only any reason to there's really no reason to object to compulsory donation on a religious level. Yeah, so yeah, if you have a religious reason where you believe that in the afterlife you need all your body parts, that's fair enough, but that's why we should get rid of religion. You said mine are sugar soaked. Okay, liver is probably very bourbon soaked, but the kidneys are very high functioning. They've had a lot of heavy workload.
How dare you?
Oh, wrong one. There you go. I'm on to post. Say, Corb, you live in Candyland with Charlie Unicorn? Their organ donation program is bugged up. Apparently. All right. Moving on. Oh, that's not...
Just one small problem with that.
Sell their houses to who, Ben?
What?
Mourning of deceased loved ones by religious people shows the biological
Here we
fear
go. Oh, you're just hitting on this. Where was it? Chester, you're just hitting on this.
of death in them is stronger than their faith of afterlife. Missing the lost ones wouldn't explain that amount of grief, as an eternity with them awaits after the blink of an eye to their faith-based timescale. I've always
come on. So read it one more time. Mourning of the deceased, or mourning of deceased loved ones by religious people, shows the biological fear of death in them is stronger than their faith of the afterlife. Missing the lost ones wouldn't explain that amount of grief, as an eternity with them awaits after a blink of an eye to their faith timescale. Trey,
what up?
He was like, "What?"
No,
so do you agree that the mourning of deceased loved ones by other religious people shows a biological fear, not a religious sadness, or a sadness that fits in with what you believe? That if somebody dies and they are away from you for a few years, and then you all get to be together in heaven for an eternity, that shouldn't have that level of grief and sadness. It's the fact that they're dead, they're gone, that makes people sad. That's the claim.
Oh.
So I'm throwing to you as a religious person to say, no, it's not that, it's this.
Yeah, I would say that I would say that the ideal or the notion of heaven, like with me specifically believing in Christianity and believing in a heaven or hell, I mean, I do think we kind of misplace everybody to hell. I mean, heaven, because there are definitely some people that shouldn't be in heaven that we put there. But I think that does just kind of help with the grieving process. It does kind of give a person I would say an easier out to kind of make themselves feel better, to kind of push on through whatever that hurt.
Right, but why is there a need for feeling better when, like, I think he actually uses this, but so I'm stepping on the video a little bit. Let's say that your best friend. Let's say your best friend gets to go on the first trip to Mars. Actually, wait, he explains this. I'm stealing this right from him. So let's hear this out. So Melton, I know that you're an atheist, so but if you had anything specific on this.
So like mourning, not really, like fear of, like, I guess it's like you won't see them, like you're gonna miss them, like while you're here on Earth, like
right. And so that's exactly where he's gone. So that's right in. I'm gonna come back to the this one, CT. I like that one.
What was Morty doing, bro?
Just making a mess.
He said, "Happy birthday, Red Rocket."
stronger than their faith of afterlife. Missing the lost ones wouldn't explain that amount of grief, as an eternity with them awaits after the blink of an eye to their faith-based timescale. I've always found this really interesting in terms of human psychology.
I said, shit, me too.
You may have thought about this yourself. If religious people believe that their dead loved ones go to a place called heaven, and indeed that this place called heaven is a much more comfortable place than down here on earth,
Why are
why
you
do they get so
sad?
upset when their loved ones die? And the person who submitted this has
Stupid.
preempted a common response, which is people like to say, of course we believe they're going to heaven, but we're really sad about the fact that we're going to be separated from them until we get to heaven too. But as the submitter says, this doesn't seem to account for the sheer amount of grief that people experience when their loved one dies. I mean,
Jesus Christ, of all the days, where is Soil the Soul? Where is Stephanie?
Yeah.
Where is all the Christians? Bailey,
Well-
where y'all at?
Well,
I'm
I also
here.
just thought of another one. I thought of another one. What if you're a like Christian and you believe in like Christianity, but you think you're going to go to hell? So and you think your family member is going to go to heaven, and you think you're going to go to hell no matter what, because that's just like what your Christian belief is. So, like you're just like, I'm never going to see them again when they die.
That
So,
makes
like
sense.
that could be another reason.
There you
I've
go.
went through
Let's see.
that.
Yeah, so that's what I mean when we're saying that, okay, if you want to take the position that this is wrong, that somebody is saying, oh, if you're getting this upset, it must mean that your faith isn't true. Then if you want to say that's wrong, you have to do the mental work to say, oh, well, it's this, and provide the alternative. And that's what we doing. That's what we doing.
Well, but I would say, because there is something to be said about losing a loved one that you see, like with my sister, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
That was someone I spoke to every single day. That was like a confidant. That was basically like that was a person that played so many different roles in my life, and her dying left a very huge void in my life. So that does create an extra amount of sadness when you do come to realize, like, for as much as, okay, I'm going to see this person in heaven, and when I get to the great beyond, I'll be there with them, but it does still leave that sadness of this person that plays such a huge role in my life, in my every day-to-day life, is now gone, and I don't know how to either cope with that, or I don't necessarily know how to replace those things.
Fair enough. So I was gonna give and shout out to CT. I'm sorry you lost your sister, Trey. My sister is one of my best friends. Cheers to that.
Appreciate it.
So I think that that's a very reasonable position. But what he presents here is a very interesting, I guess, response to that, because he does talk about, like what he just said, what you were saying. But I think the way that he
think of it this way. Maybe you're religious yourself, and if so, consider the following. Say your best friend decides that they're going to go on a scientific expedition. They're getting on a rocket and they're flying off to Mars. And because of some kind of communication technology problem, once they get on that spaceship and start flying away, you'll never be able to contact them ever again. You're probably
okay. So that's scenario number one. They go on the trip to Mars, and because of the way that the electronics or whatever work, you will never talk to those people again. But they're going to live on Mars. That's one scenario.
probably going to be quite upset about this. Compare this to the feeling you would have.
So this is scenario number two.
If upon getting in that spaceship and you're watching it fly off into space, it explodes and you know that your friend has been instantly killed.
That is going to feel a little bit different. And if you have faith in specifically the Christian afterlife, then it doesn't make sense that you would feel differently about those situations.
Well, I mean, I guess I would disagree with that, because I mean, the story, so I don't have to rehash it, because I don't want to make your birthday sad.
No, you good.
But
yeah.
But just the fact that I did witness it, it does bring a different level of, I would say, grief as well, because to see that happen, or like to actually witness that, or to even see how you lose that person, it does add a certain level of sadness to it. I don't necessarily know how to put it in words.
No, I definitely agree that the the part of seeing and witnessing it is definitely going to bring up more trauma than the loss itself. Like, when Akon died, I didn't ever see him. Remember, I was always waiting to make the joke with him after his motorcycle accident that I was thinking I was going to go to the hospital, see him in the bed, and be like, "Yo, what are you doing laying down on a work day? Come on, you lazy whatever." And I didn't have the experience, thankfully, of having to see anything like that. And even as my what even as myself, this was long after I had left Christianity, but I was very aware. I was consciously aware of the fact that, like, oh, he's good. Akon's chilling wherever he is or is not. He will never ever be sad again. He will never ever feel pain again. I'm fucking hurting right now. We're all hurting right now, but he's good. That was something that I understood, and that was a huge thing that allowed me to get through the whole ordeal. Is just the understanding of the reality. And I'm sure that if I was still a Christian, that I would just believe, well, I mean, theoretically he was Jewish, so I would have believed he went to hell. And that definitely wouldn't have been good. But I mean, the type of Christian I wouldn't be that, oh, you're Jewish, you're going to hell, right to jail. No.
Straight to jail.
So I would believe that he was in a, in a heaven sort of place. But I don't know. Maybe there's something to be said about the notion of believing that you will be reunited with your loved ones if you won't.
Well, even think about the idea of them going to Mars. Like, there's always a chance that the communications might be fixed, or they might fix communications, or there's a chance they might come back. There's a chance of that. But when you see the ship blow up and they're gone forever, like it's for sure forever. There's no chance of them coming back from that to this world.
Yeah, and film says, if my friend went to Mars and their spaceship blew up going out of the atmosphere somewhere along the trip, I would not think that I would see them again in an afterlife. Those who are dead do not suffer death. Those who are dead do not suffer death. The survivors do. Absolutely. But why do you say that you would not think that you would see them in an afterlife? Is that just your belief, or are you saying specifically in this situation you wouldn't expect to see them again in an afterlife?
Do you think heaven revolves around if you're on Earth or not?
Yeah, that's
any film.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Do they go to Mars heaven? Is there like Mars heaven?
Well, maybe he doesn't believe in heaven at all.
Well, I know.
That's why I'm confused. If it's just this situation is the reason why you wouldn't, and other situations you would. CT said, I think it comes down to hope and optimism. If my family moves to Mars, I could at least hope they are happy. If they pass, you have to hope they are in a better place. Death can bring people to religion. I feel like a lot of people are religious off that hope.
Well, and then also just adding on to like him saying like, you witnessed the spaceship blow up.
Yeah,
like for me, I was I still dream about that day. So it does kind of refresh itself in your mind sometimes. Just going to sleep and then just, if you have dreams, because some people don't. But, I've had dreams where it's like that day plays over piece by piece. And, it does add, or it's like almost like a freshest, like a reminder almost whenever, it's just supposed to be a normal day. Just that random dream can literally just ruin your whole day at that point.
Yep. When I mean, bro, like the first, I don't specifically remember the first time I had an Akon dream. But like I remember being new to the experience of having a super fucking vivid dream where we're all just hanging out and he comes from behind the bush. He's like, I got y'all. I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew you didn't really die. And then you just wake up and it's like, fuck.
Yeah, I've had those dreams before too.
Come on, bro. Like, why? Why couldn't that be real?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've definitely had those dreams. But I do believe and also for as as religious as people is, like as much as I believe in Christianity, my body and mind still does live in the physical world. So I don't think that it is out of the realm for a person's mind to, still grieve over a loved one. Even though like I know that this person could be still in heaven, like the human aspect in me is still gonna miss this person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I think that that's kind of what this is speaking to. It's the human part. It's not necessarily the or I'll say my perception is that it's more the human part than it is the Christian part. I think that's a fair place to leave that one. Just says, do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living, and above all, those who live without love. Oh, Dumbledore.
Is that supposed to be Harry Potter?
That was supposed to be Dumbledore. Yeah.
I've never watched none of those movies or read any of the books.
When I used to be like when I was a kid, I was into them. Like the first maybe like 3 movies, I was like, oh, word. Actually, the first 2 movies I went on my birthday. That is crazy to think about. I saw Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone with whatever friends I was hanging out with at whatever year. That's wild. That was exactly however many years ago.
Trey didn't watch those movies because it's witchcraft and he's a Christian, and that
the power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
I had got the books during the Scholastic Book Fair. Shout out to the book fair.
Shout out to the book fair.
My grandma took them because they were quote unquote witchcraft.
I called it, didn't I? I called it.
Well, hey, that was all the rave. Like all this satanic shit was taking over.
So I take that back because I definitely did watch the Sorcerer's Stones, and I was like, "Oh, this shit kind of whack." Like, imagine I didn't read them.
Oh, this motherfucker. Oh, actually, the original is the Philosopher's Stone. This is America, Jack. You get the fuck out of here with that Philosopher's Stone bullshit. The book that I owned said sorcerer. All right.
Imagine going to like a German coming over to America and being like, "Look at that BMW," and they're like, "Actually, it's a Balvet." It's like,
is that what they're called for real?
Yeah, it's BMW Balvet.
Learn something new every day.
Potterhead. Oh, okay. I didn't know that we
too,
had so many Potter fans. And
Harry Potter Legacy or the Hogwarts Legacy game came out.
And then also
that was lit.
That's what
lit.
it is. Everybody, it's being revamped.
Yep.
Also, I read a series of unfortunate events, and that book is way better.
I don't know about all that. That's too deep for me. That's too. I mean, that was kid shit. I'm not trying to. All right, let's see where we're at here.
Fly off into space, it explodes, and you know that your friend has been instantly killed. Are you more upset by this? Probably you are going to be more upset by this. And if that's the case, then the thing that you're sad about can't just be that you're going to miss them until you meet them in heaven. It must be something about the death itself which fills you with grief. Notice how Jordan Peterson answers questions about religion.
We're talking about Harry Potter.
What's magical about a philosopher? More like, come on, a sorcerer in Harry Potter.
I mean, if we really want to ask the question, what's magical about a philosopher?
Yeah,
is that it could turn an atheist into a more spiritual person than that was as a Christian. Let's fucking go. Just saying. It's just like, not my fault. The American publisher thought kids would be so dumb they couldn't understand the word philosopher. They were right. CT said Potter's a classic. Series of unfortunate events were great. Not better than Potter, though. Fair enough. Hey, shout out to David Banner in the building. Welcome to the party. So you're the oldest you've ever been, but don't worry, that growth spurt will be coming in soon.
Oh, shit.
He just needs to start getting the TRT in, and he'll grow an extra 3 inches.
There you go. Get him that TRT. Montefiore said Nicholas Flamel Stone. He was neither a sorcerer neither nor. Either or. He was neither a sorcerer nor a philosopher, but a wizard and an alchemist. Thank you, David. Very, very much appreciated. I think what you're asking is a series of unfortunate events and Harry Potter. They're like, they're like the same universe but a different story or some shit.
No, not series of unfortunate events. That's Fantastical Beasts and Where to Find Them.
CT said, I did not expect to spend this much time talking about Harry Potter. All right. CT said that the Deathly Hallows is a great philosopher story. The three wishes, invisibility, power, and death. I think that's where I fell off. Was that the first two-part thing? I think I saw the first part, and then by the time the second came out, I was just like, I don't really give a shit anymore. ZB said, love Harry Potter. Well, Percy Redhead's more like it. Fair enough. Just said, even scenes in the movie had to be shot multiple times to change the word for the American release. That's we just got pulled like that. We just got pulled like that. That's how we be. All right, let's see where we're at.
Claim to be atheists. They don't act like atheists.
Hold on,
I mean, he
what
wants,
are you saying here?
which fills you with grief. Notice how Jordan Peterson answers questions about religion. He'll often say that although people claim to be atheists, they don't act like atheists. I mean, he once even said that going to an art gallery
Harry Potter, bro.
can't be secular.
Even secular people go to museums. I'm secular. Well, are you in a museum? Yes.
Tell me you don't know what secular means without telling me you don't know what secular means. Yeah, that's what he's alluding to. You know, and you can tell he's on the Lex Friedman podcast, and he's going to be Jordan Peterson all the way. And so I understand that the point that he's trying to make is that there is a spiritual realm, and that if you are going to an art museum and you see some beautiful art and you feel awe inspired or something, then that is not secular. But it is, though, because that's what secular means. That there's no religion part of it. That's it. That's it. Doesn't mean not spiritual. It means not religious.
Cool. There's museums that you go there's museums that you can go to that aren't like matter about what religion was going on.
He's saying modern art, and I think what he's getting after is that it's so you go in there and you see these paintings and they're so beautiful and you just think, wow, I mean, come on, man, there's got to be something better than this. That's what I think he's going to. No, nobody on my JVP impersonation. It wasn't great. Everyone said yes. Atheists don't respond as atheists because everyone wants to feel like there's something else beyond death. I mean, maybe for y'all, but I'm acting like an atheist all day, every day. More Harry Potter. It's the last book movie.
More Harry Potter.
Tale about three brothers who got one wish each. One wanted invisibility, one wanted power. The other wanted the power to cheat death. Fair enough. They seem alchemists and basicity. Basicity? What the fuck? What? Okay, moving on.
Are you looking at art? Yes. Well, what makes you think you're secular then?
And
because there's no religion.
Whether you agree with this particular example or not, he's suggesting something plausible that, well, you might say that you believe one thing, but if you're acting in a different way, maybe you're actually a little bit confused about what your own beliefs are. In other words,
if you're acting that way, but you say you believe this, do you know? Maybe not.
But in the same way that Jordan Peterson might like to say that atheists are actually a bit more religious than they think, I think this kind of example can show that maybe religious people are a bit less religious than they think. Of course, the only person who can truly know what someone believes is their own self. At least they have the best access to what those beliefs might be. And so if this is something like an attempt to say religious people aren't really religious, it's a little bit controversial in that it's doing something a little bit inappropriate, which is essentially gatekeeping religious belief. But I don't think that's exactly what it's trying to do.
So let's see. What does everybody think his, well, I guess we'll use this one and then the next one.
It's just saying that, look, if you think that there is an afterlife, shouldn't the fact that you're so upset about the death of your relatives give you pause for thought about the strength of that belief? I think this is really interesting, like I said earlier, but I can't say it's particularly controversial. And for that reason, I'm going to give it mild. If God...
So wait, damn, he went through that mad quick. All right.
But I can't say it's particularly controversial. And for that reason, I'm going to give it...
All right, so minty, mild, spicy, and Indian spicy. Okay, so now we know there's two more or three more? Two more or three more? Two more. So two more. So now we have to, on this scale, determine what we think and see if he agrees with us. So moving on.
A bit mild. If God is timeless and spaceless, it exists nowhere, never, making it no different than something that does not exist.
Okay, so come on, really?
No.
If God is timeless and spaceless, God exists nowhere, never, making it no different than something that does not exist. If God, so, I mean, Trey, do you believe God is timeless and spaceless?
I don't. Wait, because I don't. What? I was trying to figure out what they meant by timeless.
Like it's infinity. Like he's exists the beginning of time to the end of time. God is going to exist.
Well, then, yeah, I would say he's definitely timeless.
Does he exist nowhere and never?
Well, no. I mean, so personally, I would say no, just because, and I guess that would kind of come down to the religious beliefs of things. Because I mean, for as much as I understand science and I'm into science, the Big Bang Theory and the evolution from monkeys to humans, it just honestly does not make sense to me. Just like I can understand a person being like religion doesn't make sense to them. So for me, it is one of those things where I personally believe it, where I can believe that, God is, everywhere. He's there, he's here, he's, the Alpha and Omega, the beginning to the end. I personally can believe that, and I personally can understand how that is. If we're talking about something that is above us and that is the creator, then I can definitely be like, okay, this is a timeless thing. This is a timeless entity that will be there from the beginning to the very end. And also, if you do believe in the Bible, then you believe in like the second coming of Jesus, and then the things of nature that will conspire from there.
So, Opus, you would mean that he is spaceless? Wrong. So he's timeless. Timeless is throughout all time. Do you not think God exists throughout all time? Are we not saying that if God were to exist, that it would be outside of all time? And then spaceless would be no, it exists nowhere, never. That's that's the part that I would take issue with. Is nobody said God was spaceless. It's the opposite. That God is, as Opus is saying, is that omnipresent. Is everywhere, always.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, omnipresent.
Don't a lot of Christians believe that Jesus was like God too? Like, so
the
like
Trinity.
Yeah. So like, wouldn't that make it to where he does exist?
So the Trinity is where things get iffy, because depending on what type of, and that's where things also get weird, is they have the different points of Christianity. So there's like like Baptist, Pentecostal. So Pentecostal believes that Jesus is God and God is Jesus, like they're one. But like Baptists believe in the that Jesus is the Son of God, like he's just the Son of God and that's it. That he isn't necessarily God himself that came down in human form, that he is the Son of God. So I was always raised under that he is the Son of God.
But also he is God.
But because aren't you not supposed to pray to things that aren't God? It's like if you like your prayer, like if you put Jesus like on a pedestal, wouldn't that like?
Well, no, because Jesus is God. Again.
But that's the thing. If you don't think Jesus is God,
one of the if you watch hold on, I'm gonna come back to this CT. If you watch Bill Maher's Religulous, the documentary he made, if you guys haven't seen it, you absolutely should see it. It's something that is it's fun and lighthearted, but it definitely attacks big gaping parts in religion that you may say, oh, that's not something that applies to me, or it may be something that does apply to you, and in which case he's like, I can't hear you guys, so he dipped out. All right. What was I saying?
You're talking about Religionists, the documentary.
Oh,
And-
religious. Yeah. So there's one they go to like it's like a religious theme park, and they have a whole bunch of can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. I dropped down
Okay.
came back.
So yeah, in Bill Maher's Religulous, he goes to this like religious theme park, kind of like how recently they did like the Noah's Ark thing with Ken Ham. But it was previous to this. It was just a park where you go through and they like do the signs of the cross and they, all that kind of stuff. And so they're talking to the guy that plays Jesus, and Bill Maher is so you say that God and Jesus is God, but the Holy Spirit is also God. And the actor that's playing Jesus is like, well, it's like if you think about H2O, you've got water and you've got ice and you've got air. But they're all H2O. And then like they cut to him driving away from, driving away from the whole thing. And he's like, wow, that guy really gave me pause. He really thought about this, the water, air, and ice thing. I mean, it's still all bullshit if you think about it for a second, but funny little moment. But definitely, I think everybody should see that. And if I didn't think that HBO was going to copyright it, we definitely would watch that. Maybe we'll do that as a movie night. But I would really have to corral y'all into this. But so I've been keeping this one up. So CG said, I've asked this before in the after party. If Christianity is 6,000 years old or Judaism is 8,000 years old, what was happening 10,000 years ago? So young Earth creationists don't believe that there was a 10,000 years ago. They believe that 6,000 years ago, God made the universe and everything is as it is. If you watch the debate between Bill Nye the Science Guy and Ken Ham, the guy I was just talking about with the Ark, he talks about he tries to bring up things like not only fossil records but ice records. Like they'll go to the North and South Pole and they'll drill a cylindrical thing of ice that's like mad fucking long, and you can see like the seasons of the snow, and then where it melts and turns to ice and compacts, and there's more, and you can see the rings, and each level takes a 4-season process in order to be created that way. And so Bill Nye's like, we have stuff here that shows that it had to be 10,000 different 4-season cycles in order for this to be here. How can you say that the Earth is only 6,000 years old? He's like, well, God made it that way.
What?
Well, it's like, I believe when I was born, the world was randomly generated, and you guys are all NPCs.
Yeah, I mean, that's the level. That's the level of engagement with the actual question that is. And I mean, Bill Nye is a douche, but he's not wrong. We have ice records. You can't just say God created the Earth 6,000 years ago to make it look like it existed for 10 billion years.
Well, Lutch, ice records are on a spectrum, okay? And gosh.
Yeah, New Testament shit. Chester said, I think aliens that we meet are more likely to believe in some kind of God. This is an interesting one. I don't know.
PC.
What do you guys think? If we met aliens, would you expect that they would have a God belief?
I don't know. Just like the Borg, like they got like I guess they don't have a God. They all become one. They're all one. But like I guess like the idea that there's something more out there, like that you go look, like I guess it depends what they would think of as a God figure like that created them. Like if it's like they're searching for their God, like they got created and then left there, and like now you have to go look. They have to go look for their God and find them. Like maybe, but it's just like that's what aliens like. Space is infinite. There's possibilities are infinite.
Possibly. Monty said Melty is a named NPC.
If you give me enough gold, I'll give you a rare item.
All right, let's take on this last one here.
Reason, I'm going to give it mild. If God is timeless and spaceless, It
Let's see
exists
what he's got to
nowhere,
say.
never, making it no different than something that does not exist. Yeah, that's a spicy one. If every human on the
Okay,
planet
he's just like, shit, I agree.
it had the exact same beliefs and values, no matter what those beliefs and values are, world peace would be achieved.
Okay, if every human on the planet had the exact same beliefs and values, no matter what those beliefs and values are, world peace would be achieved. I already have a reason why that's not true. So I'm gonna throw it to you guys. Actually, I've been picking on Trey. So Melty, I'm going to you.
Okay.
Again, the
So,
prompt being every human on the planet had the exact same beliefs and values, no matter what those beliefs and values
Yeah,
are.
right there. No matter what those beliefs and values are, cuts it right there. Because if everyone believes like I need to be the best, I need to be the top dog, I need to be the strongest and the best, and I have to own everything. That is not. People are going to be fighting for everything. There's not going to be any world peace at all. Like it's not. That's not how that's going to work out at all.
And I would even kind of say this is already true. Not exact. Maybe you take out the word exact, but people essentially have the same types of beliefs, the same types of values. Even though we fight over the culture war stuff, we still want a booming economy and safety for our families and all this kind of stuff. We just have different ways of what we believe will achieve that.
And like, there's obviously like factors. Like, there's definitely people that are crazy and are just like, I want to see the world burn. Like, you got your Joker figures, but in reality,
the idea would be that we wouldn't have those Joker figures.
Yeah,
that everybody.
yeah.
That
I'm talking about in reality.
Right.
Like we all want to make the world a better place. Like that's our values, right? Like that's a lot of people's values. They want to have better life and have better values. And obviously we do not have peace. Like I'd say a majority of people want to make their lives better. That's everyone's values and beliefs that they want to do. And we don't have world peace right now.
Ooh. And going back to the last one, any film has a good question that all human cultures have a god, so why wouldn't alien cultures have a god? I mean, this is solipsism. Well, humans do it, so why wouldn't everything else be exactly like us? Because we're the top of the food chain. We're perfect beings.
Do you think lions have
There's
gods?
a very because the it's not a good point, brother. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That it's not a good point. The fact that humans do a thing, you can go to other species on the planet that human cultures have that other animals don't have.
Like if you found a lion on another planet, that would be an alien lion. Lions don't have like a lion god. Like it's not like.
Well, no. The implication is that if we were to meet these aliens, that they would be coming here.
Oh, coming here.
So they would have to be smart enough to get here.
Well, aren't like.
So they at least have the intelligence that is enough intelligence to be able to map out where we are and how to get here. So that's farther advanced than us. If they were to come here, where if we were to go there, then that's not the case.
What about okay? So like a monk. It's like so Zippy's saying are lions sentient? What about like a monkey? Like
all right. Well, hold on. We'll get there. So Chester's saying I think any intelligent species needs morality by definition, which means some kind of higher power needs to exist or a society wouldn't work. I'll loosely agree with that. Okay, so what if everyone suddenly believe self above all else? That would increase conflict, even if everyone shared the same belief.
Bingo!
You got it.
Exactly.
So are lions sentient? Yes, lions are sentient. Yeah. They don't necessarily have the level, or no, they don't have the same level of consciousness or sentience as a human being does, or even a dolphin or an octopus. But that is their sentience or consciousness is usually I don't want to use the word defined, but is usually meant to mean there is something that it is like to be that thing. So is there an experience that's what it's like to be a lion? If the answer to the question is yes, then lion would be sentient. So if you're a lion, would you have a perspective? And so to make it easier, of course he's not there. Of course. God damn it. I was going to use Morty, but like Morty obviously isn't as sentient as we are, but there's definitely still a thing. There's still an experience what it is like to be Morty. That's why he likes hearing the sounds, because he thinks, oh, maybe I'm going to get a treat. CT, so that's the hypothetical I've been arguing. Does intelligent species invent a guide, or is it exclusive to humans? Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question, but that's exactly why it's from any film, it's not the best point, because just because humans have it doesn't mean that and everything or anything else would have it. Just I'm not saying lions don't have a lion god, though. Neither am I. Not making that claim. Not taking that burden.
Oh, I believe in the lion god.
I believe in the Lion King.
All hail the lion god. May his
You
mane
don't know
flow
that,
through us
Shane.
all.
You're right, any film. We do not know that, and that is why we are not claiming that. That is specifically and directly and expressly why we are not making that claim, because we don't know. CD, so it would be very ironic if they touchdown ask us, "Have you heard the word?" What?
Yeah.
The bird is the word. Bird. Bird's the word. Bird.
And then they blow up our planet.
So I'm not saying we are special. I'm saying we're intelligent by our own definition, and we require a certain morality that everyone has to agree on. Does everyone have to agree on it, though? That's the part that I was because a lot of people don't agree on it, and that's why we have prisons and shit. True, belief does not equal morality. Hey, shout out to Ruthless Admin in the building. Welcome to the party. So morality doesn't require an outside force other than evolutionary pressure to not be self-destructive to yourself or your species. Morality doesn't require an outside force other than yeah.
I would more so argue if we respected each other's like different opinions. I think that would be way more helpful than like I think that would like eliminate a lot of the issues. Like you said, I think we all kind of want the same thing. We just have different ways of wanting it accomplished, at least in America. So I think if we were to go and expand that worldwide and everybody kind of have a understanding of to the degree that we all do want the same thing. Every single person does want the same thing for the most part, and that's to live a comfortable life with their family and kind of just do whatever they do within their lives. But I think if everybody was to kind of respect that, all right, your way of getting it done is different than my way of getting it done, then it would possibly work out to where it could be like complete peace.
Well, but some ideas have more respect than others. Like imagine like with the food crack, like imagine like people saying right now, like we don't have enough, there's not enough food, we're gonna overpopulate the world. So then some person's like, well then we need to start gambling and getting rid of people, some Hunger Games type stuff. That idea doesn't deserve as much respect as like maybe more farmers, more farmland.
Yep. So that comes down to the idea that all positions are not the same. That each position stands on its own merit. All right. So I think he essentially has the same kind of thing here, but this is the last one, so let's let it play
It
out.
sounds like a nice idea and a relatively intuitive one. If everybody agreed, then we probably all get along, right? But I'm not so sure about this. And the reason for that is that values are sort of self-reflective. That is, they point inwards. I might say that I value my own welfare or the welfare of my family.
Pizza
and
time.
So I don't know what you mean by identical values. I mean, suppose there were two families or two tribes, and both tribes had the view, I think that my tribe has the moral right to eliminate all other tribes.
Bingo!
They might
So this is essentially exactly what you guys are saying.
Exactly the same thing in that respect, but they're still then going to go to war with each other and try to wipe each other out. If you believe that they believe literally the same thing, however, like Tribe A believes we are morally superior and have the right to wipe others out, and Tribe B believes that Tribe A is morally superior and has the right to wipe all others out, then sure, peace would kind of be achieved, at least that they would agree with each other, and maybe they would just be happy to be wiped off the face of the planet because of their moral beliefs. But I don't know what kind of identity you're talking about here. If you mean the second kind, then it's kind of trivially true, but it's not saying anything interesting. It seems more like you're saying if everybody agreed on a set of values, there would be world peace. But I don't think that can be the case, because values are so often linked to particular people, and usually that's to do with their relation to us. We give a particular position in our moral sphere to friends or to siblings or to parents or to children that we don't to strangers. But of course, strangers to us are going to be brothers and mothers and sisters and sons to other people. And so even if we all share the same sort of moral principles,
Okay, so
I don't think this is going to.
Well, so yeah, we're basically saying the same thing there. So you said I've had this conversation too in the after party. Does morality predate religion? Morality is just a code of conduct for a society. And 10,000 BC, was there a sense of morality or kill or be killed? And we have evidence to know that we can. Gonna get philosophical. We can never know, but there is strong evidence that there was a more loose but understanding a way of life, a routine, and that sense of morality, that sense of or that collection of ideas and morals, which is how we got here. So far away from just being animals. So he said, I thought one of the prevalent theories in sci-fi and fiction was sentience requires an equivalent level of self-awareness of humans. Well, that's kind of what India was talking about before, using human intelligence as the anchor of like what intelligence is. Like, for all we know, it is completely within the realm of possibility that in the same way that we look at an anthill and a bunch of ants and we just walk and go on with our day, and they may or may not, likely don't have a concept of that big thing that just walked by is a human that can think, and I'm a little ant compared to that. It may be exactly the same thing with the next level of intelligence. We may be the ants to another type of intelligence that is so vast that we are looked at as ants and we are not even thought of. So these sentient aliens essentially aren't coming here not because they can't find us, because they don't fucking give a shit. It's just one little gaseous water planet with beings on it of millions. That is just as likely as anything else. All right, and we're going to end here with Chester saying, no one respects differences, and I'm sick of hearing about inclusivity and diversity, and it's important to be different. It's complete bullshit, and no one actually thinks that. Well, shit, I didn't read this before. I said we're going to end on that, but I don't think we're going to end on a better note than that. Let's go. Fuck all that shit. Whatever. I don't know what it has to do with anything that we were talking about, but fuck all that shit. Well said, sir. Well said, sir. All right, guys, we've been going for a minute, and we still got a party. So I'm going to, who was up here? So, Trey, I'm going to throw it to you. Anything you want to shout out for the people? Last words?
Nothing I really want to shout out. Just, hit us up in the Discord. Really get funky.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, I will see you over there. Thank you for hanging out. Peace. Melted Mind Media. You know what to do.
What's up, guys? Go check out my YouTube channel, Melted Mind Media, where I help you fight the media that melts your mind. And I'll see y'all in the after party.
Let's go. And I just dropped the link in the chat there. Thank you so much for hanging out, brother. I will see you there. Peace out. All right, guys. Holy moly. Well, I'm 34. I'm 34 years old. I definitely thought that I would be married with kids and a family. That shit ain't happened yet. But I got you guys, and that is why I can be as passionate about what we do here. It's because there is nothing else. This is why I chose specifically to not go out and have a birthday dinner, but to sit here and hang out with you guys. Because I care. I love you guys. You guys are everything to me. So, exactly. I'm not dead yet, so I'm keeping going. Thank you. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. I think all you guys are members, or at least disciples in Discord. So I don't need to do a big sign off, but yes, you as well. Thank you, Melted Mind Media. I guess I'll just see you guys in the after party. If you are not a member, the Discord is free. Unwanted Foe just dropped the link. It is free to join, but if you want to be part of the after party and get full access, you've got to be a channel member. You can hit the join button right beneath the video here, and you get full access immediately. Thank you so much, guys. Big shout out to everybody who helped us out here. We had, I think, did I do it again? Oh man, once and fall, you didn't tell me. My bad. Well, so we started up with, we had Dan Jensen. We got 2 5s from Indie Film, making sure he said this is alone. And then, of course, we did it. Okay. I messed it up. I'm sorry, Indie Film. You guys got to remind me when I don't get the numbers right. So we have, shout out to Unwanted Foe then. And our comment of the night from CT223. Everyone kills themselves. Who's supposed to use the organs? And then our proper sponsor. Indie Film. Thank you so much. We had, no, it was, it was Indie Film. We had the 5 and the 5. We had the 5 and the 2. And Dan was with the 1, it was like 146. But thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I don't know what to say. You guys are awesome. I really hope you are part of the after party, because that is where I'm headed. Until then, or I guess if not, I will see you guys tomorrow night, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will see you there. Until then, guys. Oh, we got a last minute addition. Shout out to M169. Thank you so much. We are headed right over to the after party. I'm sure I will see you over there. Until then, guys, I am out of here. Peace.